Well, good evening or good morning in Days Cloud. Welcome to actually a really exciting cross keys match here in the ALTTPR League. This is week 5. We are here in Cross Weeks week. This is actually quite a favorite mode for many people, and especially actually you see two very talented cross keys runners, Days versus P-Train, representing Frozen Leftovers and Sphere-finity. Actually, I think last night, maybe the night before, Chimo played for Frozen Leftovers, and GFE ended up taking the win for Sphere-finity. So looks like Days is actually looking for some revenge. But P-Train, of course, is hoping to keep the momentum going and claiming that 2-0 spot for this week. Yes, my name's Claire Mouse. I'm joined by Wallkicks. Wallkicks, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing a fantastic, Clear Mouse. I watched a little bit of that Chimo GFE matchup, and it was a gross seed. You were required to climb GT, Fighter Sword, 5 hearts with the bow for your Moon Pearl. It was
for your Moon Pearl. Oh my gosh, dude,
yeah, it was not an easy seed. So hopefully for Days Cloud and P-Train, they get a little bit of an easier seed. But these are also, like you said, two extremely well-versed runners in cross keys, two veterans of the game. This is going to be a fun matchup. Like you don't be fooled by the fact that Frozen Leftover only has 3 points and Sphere-finity only has 9. These are two amazing runners.
Oh yeah, in fact, like these points are cumulative, right? Because they this is actually kind of like the novelty of League. Every week is a I won't say like super different, but I mean it's different enough mode. You get a lot of variety, right? And and cross keys is actually something that these guys like just really shine on.
Yeah, and I might be a little bit biased. Hey, look, there's a Moon Pearl in Link's house.
Oh man, that Ganon's Tower climb, Fighter Sword, 5 hearts of the bow. That was super short. Thanks, man. I thought this game was hard. Wallkicks, isn't that what you said?
No, it's not hard at all. This is actually super easy.
Oh, okay, okay. So we got a Moon Pearl. Do we need anything else for this scene?
No, we're just going straight to Ganon.
Okay.
In fact, Ganon, we might be able to access Ganon right now. We just can't do anything about that.
Okay. All right. So guys, we actually have completely different starts. Looks like I think Days actually favors the Sync start. Looks like P-Train though, starting at his Ganon's Tower house. He's gonna probably do like something a bit more traditional. It's a little bit harder to tell, I think, with his bobblehead that he did actually set up a fake flipper. It's in order to, I guess, take a quick peek at the witch's hut. I'm gonna try and set up this fake flipper over here to go back. Come on, P-Train.
It's because of the bobble.
It's tricky. Yes.
It's because of the bobble. I believe it's because of the bobble. But yeah, as you mentioned, Days usually likes to start Sanctuary. Today, the Sanctuary led us to the Magic Bat drop down, which is always good because it's a nice early spot to Kakariko, which is by far the most entrance-dense location in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the motivations, I guess, for maybe people not starting, at Link's house, and then or heading their way over to Kakariko, right? Is because if you start somewhere, you got immediate knowledge of where that sanctuary is, and then you're eventually going to get led back into Kakariko, right? Just as Days is demonstrating.
Yeah, it's also a little bit more of a volatile start because you're not sure exactly where you're starting. There's 8 drop downs, and starting a sanctuary is going to pop you out in one of those 8 locations. What you're seeing P-Train do is kind of, I don't want to say the more traditional start, but a start that you see a lot of runners do, which is a fake flipper over to the witch's hut to set up a houlihan over at the useless fairy drop down. It gets them money, it gets them an out of the way entrance and an out of the way drop down. But at the same time, it does take a little bit of time. I mean, in the 2 minutes that P-Train took to do all that, Days Cloud has already gone through most of South Kakariko, has picked up an Eastern Big Key for his troubles.
Yeah, and also he also picked up 50 rupees, which is part of the reason why I think a lot of people like that houlihan start, right? Is because you get resources, right? And money is a very important resource because, and of course, maybe we should explain what cross keys is. So those who maybe haven't watched too much of cross keys, either this week or from the cross keys tournament earlier this year. This is where not only do you have all of the keys, dungeon items, everything shuffled, the entrances are shuffled as well. That's why you see them popping into basically every single door and exploring. And part of the reason is that also, we don't know where our fixed bomb shops are, right? You never know when you're going to encounter one. And so if you have money, you at least have that fortune of stumbling upon, in this case, a bomb shop. You can actually just buy them. I think Days also had a nice drop, though, for at least one bomb. Certainly be very helpful.
I know he did a little bit of farming at one of the 50-50 bushes on the way to that little bombable hut in Kakariko.
Oh, okay.
So he was able to pick up some bombs there. Unfortunately, that little hut in Kakariko that you needed a bomb for was a connector that was the brother's house, which you need another bomb for. so Days wasn't able to kind of go through it, but it looks like he's going to now set up a Houlihan, which makes sense because if you like I said earlier, these are two very well-known, very good runners. So they probably have some knowledge of the other person's tendencies. And so if you know that one person that, like for Days Cloud, if you know that P-Train usually starts at Link's house and does a Houlihan, maybe this isn't something you want to put off for too long, because if there is something here, then that's something that he'll have an advantage on over you for quite some time until you were to go do it.
Yeah, so, and also and just in terms of sequencing, P-Train ended up Houlihan first, got a little bit more money into Kakariko, so, and on Day's side, we actually seen that we found both gamble games, so I'm going to be extremely disappointed in P-Train if he doesn't at least, venture and gamble something, because he has a lot more money to burn. And we just see him leave, okay? Fuck, P-Train. I don't understand.
Okay, why would we gamble? What is the thing that, what would we... Why
we want to get more money! While kids, we always want more money!
Look, I live in the city where you do a lot of gambling. You don't need to gamble. The house always wins.
I mean, but wall kicks, like, there are lots of, like, things that we need to spend money on, okay? It's not like there's, like, a credit card that we can get in Hyrule. Like, we have to spend within our means, right? There are so many things we need to pay off. We gotta pay off, like, Bottle Vendor, which I think neither of them have done so far, right? We got some fish, that we need to go buy from Zora, apparently.
I say that we will find the money along the way.
Well, I'm certainly hoping for that for our runners, but so far everything besides that 50 rupees, they've really just had to go into, I guess, like their savings, their personal secret stash in order to get them up a little bit higher.
The personal secret stash that is the Houlihan.
Well, I mean, it's a secret, right?
It's like breaking the jar that has all the change that you're saving up for your vacation. And it's like, oh man.
Well, it's like an earthquake fund, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we found Ganon yet, out of curiosity?
No, we haven't. We've been doing the same thing. So like, we haven't actually seen anything new on either runner side. P-Train was kind of clearing out South Kakariko, which is what Days Cloud did. Days Cloud then did Houlihan up to the castle, which is what P-Train started with. So I think Days is going to give us our first look into something new. Okay. Which is north part of Kakariko.
Oh yeah, and actually, so speaking of, we're going to we found a bomb shop, which is great, and he still has enough money to pay off the bottle vendor, so hopefully this is going to be a good purchase for him.
I know P-Train will be quite upset if bottle vendor didn't have anything, because I know in the other matchup between these two teams, even though GFU won, he put off his flute on bottle vendor for like 45 minutes because he just never had any money.
That's so rough. I mean, so I think, and actually, that's actually a good point. Also, like, maybe, like, this is why another, reason why you want to, be able to get the Houlihan early is so, money, you're eventually going to lead back into Kakariko anyway, right? And then isolating Bottle Vendor, because, money is a really bad thing, especially in cross keys when it has the flute, like, geez, that's a pretty big time.
We're seeing a little divergence on both sides.
But P-Train is like...
P-Train's run is paying off because he picked up that ice rod and the glove in the Uncle drop down, which is at Cackwell. He saw the Super Bunny Cave that Days Cloud is going through right now, but chose to hold off. Days, however, saying, let's just dive right in. This is a one-way, so wherever Days goes, he'll have to go.
Both runners are finding pretty dang good things. Yeah, so Days is gonna have a bow with that Eastern Palace big key. Oh my gosh, wall kicks. Are we gonna find Eastern? It's gonna be
yes, because we can single dip it now. Yeah. This is the greatest seed of all time.
Oh my gosh! All right, so this is gonna be great news. I hope those people who do not like to dip Eastern Palace early are watching. Gonna take some good notes here. This is how you figure out how to single dip Easterns, by finding all the things we need for Eastern before we go in early.
It's true. Just go to where the things are.
Yes.
This game is so easy, Clear Mouse.
No, I mean, we got the Moon Pearl. At the Ganon's Tower. By the way, I think P-Trace had a gold split. It was like 3 seconds in order to get there.
So simple. So one of the things that Days, the Super Bunny Cave spit us out at the dam, and Days is taking this left and has found the left entrance to Turtle Rock 104 that we will be looking for potentially. Unfortunately, without the glove that P-Train has, wasn't able to check the glove locked entrance kind of in between the desert area and the dam. So a little bit of a P-Train's going to be able to kind of do this a little bit more flawlessly than Days Cloud is.
Yeah. Also, like, I was actually really surprised that Days actually even made it through the laser eye entrance, because he actually hesitated a bit. But I guess, like, with Days, he's showing his experience, right? Able to kind of time the lasers. P-Train, though, finding the real well. We have both rods already. That's pretty dang fast.
So Pendant Turtle Rock, right? Like that's
Well,
just how
I
it
mean,
works.
obviously, well, it's gonna be Pendant Turtle Rock, Pendant Eastern. P-Train,
Wow.
does he have like the gold route here? I'm sorry,
I mean, those mitts are gold.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
exactly.
Like,
But holy cow! Okay, so I mean, that is traditional Dark World access, right?
yeah, and to have
And
that not even 10 minutes into a cross key seed is
yeah,
amazing.
that's crazy.
That's
I mean, you're right. Yeah, so normally in cross keys, right? Like you are struggling. You're going through connectors to find all your Dark World entrances, but we got the Moon Pearl straight off the bat. P-Train, through his routing, found the mitts already. I mean,
and expect Days to pick up on those pretty quickly. This is all relatively in the Kakariko area. This is kind of easy to get to. Days isn't going to be too far away from both gloves, both rods, and everything else that P-Train has picked up.
all right,
So
okay,
yeah,
yes,
it's just super interesting. Like there's this seed is throwing a lot at our runners early on, which can
yeah.
be a little scary.
Yeah, I was also gonna say, so like the fact that P-Train also doesn't have the bow. I mean, they haven't found Eastern yet, but he might not be as incentivized to go. But also, just like kind of like you even see his progression in Hera. So Days actually has arrows, right? He can basically hit those crystal switches. You see, actually, P-Train actually needed to take a little bit longer, just because he has to place all those bombs, right, and wait for them to explode.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Against runners such as these, you don't initially think, oh my god, it's Eastern Palace, clear mouse. No,
Oh my gosh!
Eastern, no,
Oh,
P-Train,
oh,
no.
P-Train, look at this. You know what? We thought, P-Train, set up just like such a rocket start, finding those mitts early. But you know what? Days Cloud, he's the two marshmallow kid guy, because he found the bow early. He's gonna get that delayed satisfaction.
Yeah, but I mean, it still makes sense for what P-Train did to say no to a
Oh,
one-way
yeah,
connector
yeah,
right
of
off the bat.
course.
So
Yeah.
it just Days is getting, excuse me, as Days was a little bit punished for not picking up the glove earlier, P-Train's not going to be punished for not picking up his bow earlier.
Yeah, but of course, there are two bows in the pool, so maybe, P-Train will just find a bow here.
If the other bow is in here, I'm going to let you just handle the rest of the commentary.
I mean, it'll be Silvers by the time Days Cloud gets here. Oh wow! All right, P-Train certainly is still very happy coming in here. He's finding the Canis Maria. These are some really big ticket items so early on the seed.
I've never seen a cross key seed so early kind of lead you to specific points in the game. Because like this game instantly gave you everything needed to clear Eastern and gave you Eastern Palace. We now have the Canis Maria, Fire, and Ice Rod. Obviously, Turtle Rock requires a lot more keys, but the wheels have to be turning in your mind.
But wall kicks. What if we need a lamp? How are we going to navigate Turtle Rock? Because if we can't see.
Just find the other entrance.
Okay, got it. Okay, I thought you were going to say maybe we need a progressive lamp or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean that too. That also works. But no, the actual answer is just to find Laser Bridge.
Okay, alright, so we just need to find the right entrances to get the right items. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, got it.
And see, Clear Mouse, the bush crab was 20 rupees. Like, we didn't need to gamble any money at all. We have all the money we could ever need in the seed.
So we have a benefactor? Is that what you're saying? We have a benefactor in order to enable us to go to the gambling game so we can get more money quickly? Okay, got it.
I mean, that is one way to describe that.
I don't have an addiction, right?
That is one way to describe that. There was a small cute skull woods up here. Didn't catch that. But three of those in the item pool. Logically, the moth is locked behind all three, but that's not something that anyone really concerns themselves with.
So one of the small keys is guaranteed to be in pinball room, right? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
You are always guaranteed to have a small key in the pinball room in case you have to are forced to drop down, and because the drop downs are are shuffled that you might fall down into one and find yourself
Right, mhm.
stuck. And yeah, so that's why there's always a small key there. Aside from
Yeah.
the Canis Mario, though, nothing quite good in Eastern. But again, the Canis Mario is fantastic.
Yeah, especially, we haven't found Ice Palace yet. You always want to see the cane before Ice Palace. It's going to make that dungeon much faster. We also did pick up a compass to Swamp Palace in the vanilla Big Key chest. I would just like to point out that whenever we get there, we're going to have an enhanced viewer experience because we're going to be able to count along for how many items that P-Train or Days Class can pick up. Speaking of the lamp that...
So what's on Armos Knights at this point?
Oh, man!
Clearly Armos Knights is going to have something.
Yeah, well, and also, right, and just a good reminder, actually, that you mentioned wall cake. So, unlike, I would say, like, more like standard modes, Entrance does not have this concept of advanced logic. You hard require need the lamp. There is no getting around it with the fire rod. So, yeah, the fact that P-Train found that lamp, I mean, albeit after everyone is going to go into Eastern Palace, it certainly indicates that there is potentially something good back here.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see when P-Train chooses to take the connector, the Super Money connector that leads him to his bow. It looks like he may be heading towards it right now.
Right. So I think I've heard at least one of these runners observe that you always get the item that you think you need right after the place that you were just at that you needed it.
Yep. So this is going to feel a little bit bad for P-Train, given that he then realized that he could have singled at the Eastern Palace. But it's given where it's at, it's not too hard to go back to. I kind of expect P-Train to, with the lamp too, to come back and clear out Armos.
Yeah, and really, like, probably like the only real overlap or inefficiency for P-Train's side is he's just walking basically back to. He's just walking back to the middle to the big chest. Sorry, and it's not going to be too bad. I mean, you would ideally like to maybe have a little bit of speed, like boots. But we've already gotten like 10 progressive items at this point, so certainly can't really complain too much.
Yeah, and one of the things that P-Train is going to do, yes, I saw that stop there for a second, P-Train. Don't think I didn't. But one of the things that P-Train is going to do that Days didn't is that P-Train can either choose to go left and do the glove lock entrance that Days wasn't able to do, or go right and again do some glove lock things. So there will be an entrance here that Days has not checked that could be beneficial for P-Train.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, actually, so I did mean to point out that P-Train, when he was here, actually on 3 hearts trying to get the iframes off of the anti-fairy, he did actually a really good job. Managed to basically to get it on exactly 2 hearts. Looks like Days actually wasn't able to get it, so he actually has to uncommonly seen cases where, in this case, you actually have to kill all the enemies, and you can see why you want to take the iframes for the anti-fairies, because
imagine doing this from the vanilla way.
Oh man. So, you did see actually Days pause a little bit, right? Because he doesn't have the lamp, and this dark room, he does have the fire rod, which does make things a bit easier, but you really don't want to do this room in the dark with only 3 hearts. Quite dangerous.
Yeah, this one could be a little bit difficult because the Igors do a full heart damage, and like you said, we're still sitting at 3 hearts, but with the fire rod, it becomes trivial, and Days Cloud gets through it no problem.
Do you think Days Cloud is capable of killing Armos Knights with just the bow? Do you think he's done this before?
If not, he has the Cane of Samaria.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome! Oh, come on. Okay, alright. And it's not like we need magic for anything else, right? We'll get a free magic refill at the end. It's gonna be great.
Exactly. Heck, just use the Cane of Samaria in this room.
Actually, he has it out! That is beautiful! Good job, Days!
And then he messes it up! Oh my goodness.
Alright, so he nailed the Samaria for the Popos, and then unfortunately wasn't quite right enough for the double readies.
He got the difficult trick, but messed up the easy thing.
Yeah. Okay, so P-Train has made actually quite the progress here in Turtle Rock. Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you! Alright, Green Panda, that's fine. But I've never seen a Krosky Seed be so explicit about where you want to go so early on. Let's give you everything you need to do to complete Eastern Palace. Hey, here's the Cane of Samaria, the Ice Rod, the Fire Rod. Here's also now the Turtle Rock Big Key. Yes, we still need Turtle Rock Small Keys to put everything else in logic, but still, like, this game is just...
Yeah,
it's like, hey, here's the blueprint.
Yeah, no, this seed has, and of course, you know, these runners are more than capable of not only sequence breaking, right? They know they don't need all the keys because they know how to use them intelligently, but they also know how to keep track of the sequence breaks, right? They know that in this case, the lava chest is locked by 4 turtle rock smalls. In this case, it was just a heart piece, but I mean, like, if they found something there, right, they 100% would know what that would logically imply. But man, that turtle rock big key on Armos, like,
I mean, P-Train is going to do that. Like, I don't see any way P-Train doesn't like think to himself, okay, I have to go back to, you know, so he'll pick up that Turtle Rock big key.
Hopefully soon, yes.
Yeah. So the Corning Brothers connector, which neither runner could initially do because they used their one bomb to open that entrance, leads to Death Mountain. So very good, very exciting things early on, and a lot of good entrances here.
Speaking of excitement, so we also have boulders and dead rocks on Death Mountain. I hear it's not a fun place to be if you're only on 3 hearts.
Definitely not.
Did you have an okay? So thanks actually to our tracker Mindful Beast. Should shout them out actually very often because they're doing all the button pushing and keeping track of everything for cross keys no less. Actually did indicate that Swamp and Skull are 5-6 today, so it's good knowledge that Days Cloud provided for us.
Yeah, definitely shout outs to them. You know, getting home from work minutes before this started, I didn't pull up my usual tracking for this, so I'm just gonna trust that our runners know what they're doing.
Imagine remembering things in cross keys, small keys.
No one ever does that, okay?
All right, so it looks like actually Dazed is interested in potentially getting some more money. I mean, he was just a little short. Okay, you know, actually, that's even a better time to try and gamble because, you know, you got nothing else to lose. You can only go from there.
We don't need to gamble. The bush crab gives us 20 rupees. It's fine.
The bush crab wasn't there. What is Dazed Cloud doing? All right,
He's throwing the bomb.
Oh my gosh.
He picked up the bomb, which I think just screwed everything up.
Oh my gosh. So Dazed is I won't say necessarily super vocal about Ancilla fake flippering, but he has certainly a disdain for it. I believe he has described this as a very, very finicky glitch, and to see him try this, I was actually a little bit surprised. Maybe he just doesn't like it, but he's willing to do it anyway.
I think it's because he's right here and he has the money for Zora that, you know, he's gonna do it to
Alright, so
well, he tried.
He did try. All right. We can certainly let him vent. Because he's probably just as frustrated.
Yeah, and as Chad pointing out, because he did just recently kill Armless Knights, he needed to kind of reset some variables, which he did not do. So largely probably why it failed. But Daze is just going to kind of say, hey, I'm going to go do other things. Meanwhile, P-Train finding Skull Woods here on Lay Mountain. No sword, so we cannot kill Mothula.
Oh, such a shame that he can't kill Mothula on 4 hearts. 2.5 hearts.
He's got red mail.
Oh, yeah. So, just a quick question, Wallkicks. How much damage do spikes do on red mail? Apparently more than Gyptos.
Yeah, I was like,
oh man,
it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just don't get hit by spikes. Easy.
Oh, okay, easy. Yeah, okay. It's not like they're flying at you or anything.
You can see them.
Right, you're absolutely right. It's like we have a built-in lamp for the back of Skull Woods. You're right.
No, what you're saying is very much correct. The spikes do a full heart of damage regardless of the mail, and it can be quite dangerous on 4 hearts, considering that, you know, you would probably be on Fighter Sword.
Yeah, speaking of, so, you know, let's say we're at 20-ish minutes in, and in terms of actually accessibility, so those mitts, actually, in addition to Moon Pro, obviously, you know, lets our runners get traditional Dark World access. We are still missing, despite all this progression, still missing some accessibility items. I think like the big 4 or 5 items something that we're looking for, right? We're looking for a sword, looking for boots. I mean, you always want to look for boots, but boots also do unlock some other locations, like, you know, the bonkable ones.
As much as I would love to think we're going to get early boots, we're not.
Wall kicks. I was so hopeful and optimistic that you just shut it down. Why can't these guys get boots?
Because I haven't finished my nuggets yet.
Okay, all right, okay. So once you finish your chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce, right? Probably arguably very good condiments. Then they can find boost, right? So, okay, so wall kicks, please eat faster. This is a speed run. We are interested
Look,
in only
I'm
going fast.
commentating, okay?
We also would like that hammer, by the way. I think also P-Train earlier, he did find Mimic Cape, which does lock an item, but unfortunately we need that hammer. Looks like actually Days Cloud is not going to take the connection so far, but they're both in kind of similar areas right now, just trying to explore some overworlds. Walking, unfortunately, past the Dark World bog rocks near Link's house that they both cannot get to. But actually looks like we are going to have a tag team venture here over to Stumpy Antic Game.
Looking at both of our runners' trackers, they have all 3 medallions already, which is very interesting. Like I saw Bombos and Quake. I did not see where Ether was. That had to have been a recent acquire.
Yeah, so I want to say it was in Swamp Palace entrance location. It was like Waterfall Ferry. One of them.
Okay. It was the other Fairy Cave.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Meanwhile, we find GT over here. With the cane, with the fire rod, could potentially key steal and go full right. Not a great idea. There's a big key on the torch. We're going to want those boots that I definitely didn't say that we weren't going to get.
Maybe the boost will just be here in GT. Yes. Oh, P-Train reminding us that that's right. We can actually do tile room. This is perfect wall kicks. Like this is less than perfect wall kicks. Or maybe this is good.
What happened there?
He is trying to buy you some more time so you can eat your nuggets. At a more reasonable pace.
I've got one left, so clearly the boots are going to be here in tile room.
Yes, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Days Cloud does skillfully avoid the Wall Master. He is actually going to be able to figure out what's in tile room first before P-Train. Assuming that Days does not get grabbed.
I thought Days Cloud picked up the key from left side. Maybe he didn't because they're both sitting at 0.
Days actually opened the door with that. P-Train has not. Like he actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see the right door. It's open, right?
Oh, he did. Oh, I thought.
Oh, not
I thought he opened the center door. I'm like, why'd you open the center door?
It's like maybe Days like he's like, I'll pick up the other GT smalls. I'm gonna like follow the logic and not sequence break. No. All right. Though
he is taking that key and going right side. So this will be something that he will have over P-Train for right now.
Yeah, so Days actually does a really good job. I mean, he's still on 3 hearts, by the way, somehow, versus P-Train's like almost 5 hearts, getting through all the way to Compass Chest or Compass Room.
I'll be curious to see if he takes this all the way. I'd almost be inclined to say yes because you've already key stolen, so you might as well continue on.
Oh my gosh! All right, so that of course is really nice, especially early on. The half magic with the fire rod.
Watching P-Train's bobblehead Link do the dig game is
it's so awkward. It's like he's like facing you, but also not facing you, right? Yeah.
So Days is going to continue on, so he's going to go take us all the way to Ice Armos. I like this. It will mean that he will need to pick up another GT key. We're okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit risky. So there were. Well, exactly 2 times where I thought Days Cloud might fall off, but I guess princesses have good balance.
Yep. And one thing to note is that Days has not picked up either of the mail upgrades that P-Train has found.
Yeah. So it's even more dangerous, especially when he was trying to deal with those Gyptos. It's definitely was not a fun time.
And this bomb jump will do a full heart of damage. So if anything goes wrong, he can no longer bomb jump.
Yeah, no, this is actually a good point because, okay, it's still logically accessible, right? But, I mean, you would need to, like, know where the path is for one, and then, or even, like, light the torch and then walk all the way around, and it's just, It's just very slow. You usually see Days definitely try to take his time being conservative to try and make sure he has enough health, as you said, in order to do the bomb jump. I guess we're gonna...
He might walk.
Yeah.
You know what? Given that you're at 2 hearts, I don't mind this. For those of you who don't know, if you actually light that torch, it illuminates the way.
Right. It doesn't actually, like, just because the torch isn't lit, like, doesn't mean like you can't walk on the path. It just makes it easier for you to see. It's like a lamp for floors.
Dazed
He's waiting.
Picked up the pot a little early.
All right. So of course,
really hoping that was gonna give him a full heal.
Yeah. Well, he got a full heal earlier. So I think that was like the next one in.
That's right.
Yeah, he's Days Cloud is really capitalizing here on his bow, though. In fact, he even was at the Waterfall Fairy, Capacity Fairy upgrade, right, to make sure that he, in this case, like had a nice refill on his quiver. Very nicely timed. Wow! Did you see those 2 snipes for the Spirits?
That was really good.
So this also shows like some good experience because it's you can always do like the quick kill setup, and more often than not you're going to see it work. It's kind of like a good showing for how experienced you are to be able to recover when something doesn't go your way.
Yep, we do find the Misery Mire big key. So once we pick up either those boots or that hookshot, and find Misery Mire, hey, we can clear that dungeon. Not great, given our current situation, but something that we can do.
So we're hoping for boots first, right? Yeah?
Sure.
Yes, we would love to be able to go fast, and you're almost done with your nuggets, right? If not, you're done already.
Yeah, I finished my nuggets during time.
So we can speed now through the rest of the game and get those boots. We can
speed now. I can commentate. Everything is fantastic.
Yeah, could you fix it so the digging doesn't take, I don't know, it felt like it was like 29 digs or something, because Peach Train was digging for quite some time.
I can do no such thing, I'm sorry.
What wall kicks? Man.
I only have so much power.
Didn't you get pretty far into the Cross Keys tournament or something? Like, didn't you get second? Like, what powers do you have over Cross Keys?
None, because I got second.
Oh, you have to win the thing first?
Yeah, I don't have the primary role.
Oh, okay, alright, okay. There's always next year, I guess.
There's always next tournament, it's true.
Yeah. Have we seen Thieves Town before? Because this must be new, right?
Yeah, this is new because this is over at Eastern Palace, so
Days
definitely has not been over here.
Okay, all right. So no big key, of course, for either of these runners so far. So Peach is just going to looks like he's actually trying to take some damage intentionally along the way, so he can set up a death orb later. Of course, the hope is that he doesn't end up, getting like a heart piece or something to refill him, or Sank Heart for that matter.
Yeah, so like Peach's in a little bit of an interesting situation given that he is at Red Mail. Without the mirror, death warping is not an easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So weirdly enough, you almost kind of want to stay relatively low heart while you can if you're in Red Mail until you pick up the mirror. Just because it makes doing what Peach did just now a little bit easier.
Yeah, and actually, especially for for more experienced cross keys runners, or just more experienced runners in general, right? They're much more comfortable doing like lower or low percent type of execution, right? So once you end up picking up starting to pick up mail, like you start to kind of turn away like hearts if you can, and you're really hoping for that mirror to show up.
Yeah, I don't know if it gives you like the. It definitely will sometimes force you into low percent situations, but usually over the course of several cross key seeds, one, you do learn some of those low percents, and two, you also begin to realize that you will be very well equipped usually by the end of the seed, because cross keys you're clearing a lot in cross keys. It's kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean certainly you are correct. Like more often than that, you're going to see runners on like Gold Sword, Red Mail, Silvers. Actually, speaking of though, this is actually one of those modes where the Red Mail and like Gold Sword actually exists. Especially with like what we've had for like the main tournament. Actually, also going on. Everything's basically like some version of hard mode, hard, standard, whatever. Item pool, and it's kind of actually refreshing to be able to see some nicer upgrades.
Yeah, Peach, meanwhile, finally taking those mitts to normal Darkwold access, which we've had for 10 minutes. A little surprised that he didn't go up to Skull Woods, given that he does have the fire rod and could actually check the back of Skull Woods entrance. But instead, choosing to head south to the village, another number of entrances. Yeah, considering we actually have taken this down to, we both runners have already done dig game. I guess we're gonna actually just kind of route this south to north.
So he's gonna try and finish up the village outcast, and maybe he'll end up. Okay, well, that's actually a really nice small key. You can never have enough pot smalls in this case, and that is I think first of 6, right? That we're. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna find all 6, but certainly, like I said, you can never have enough pot keys.
There is a limit to how many pot keys you can get. There are only 6 in the game, so once we hit 6, then unfortunately we can't get any more.
I also like to point out, like, P-Train's, like, bobblehead sprite, like, I didn't even know he was trying to pull the statue for Thieves' Step. I just thought he was, like, standing there for 3 seconds, and then suddenly the door opens, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's the animation.
It's such a weird thing to see, like, there are people who love this sprite, there are people who absolutely detest this sprite, and so it's very divisive, and it's honestly kind of funny. P-Train finds Very Ascension Cave, which is a connector.
At least he found the good side of the Very Ascension Cave, because we're actually descending in this case. But I think B-Train is... Does he want to go back up? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like the faster way to come, but...
Yeah, but given that it's very easy to get back to where P-Train was, I fully expected him to take this, because P-Train, why are you checking that? You have all 3.
It's muscle memory, all right. Like he's also running. He's running SGL as well. Like it's just one of those things you got to do. Like when you're playing potentially more normal modes. Hello, Lion's Hut.
Lion's Hut. Stuff you love to see. 5 items here, maybe a mirror.
Mirror would be great.
On Dave's side, though, there was a Paradox Cave. We haven't seen Paradox yet, right?
We have not. No. Looks like Daze is going to try. Looks like he's going to try and clean up this interest before going back over there.
That's very reasonable, considering that this is a very out of the way entrance. If you skip it.
Alright, so bounty fight Kings too, but nothing really exciting. Also, I don't think there was anything good in Paradox Cave either. There was a heart container, maybe.
P-Train did get powder.
Oh, powder. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
But I'd be lying if I said I've been paying attention to all the drop downs and know exactly where Magic Bat is. I don't think we've actually seen Ganon.
So... Oh, we saw Ganon at Sanctuary.
Okay, well, there you go. See? Clearly paying more attention than I am.
And I think we saw Magic Bat at the Useless Fairy drop very early on. I want to say that's where it was.
Lumberjack, specifically, our tracker is at Lumberjack, which means we're never going to see that turn in unless very, 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 very bad things have happened this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's, well, we don't even have a Council Tower small key yet either, so... Or 2, I guess, for that matter. We kind of need both of them. Alright, so hopefully Daze is going to have a little bit better luck, in this case finding out some more items. Of course, powder though, like, P-Train's never going to turn down. This is a really nice safety, especially, in pretty dangerous dungeons like Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, you love to have powder, because like you said, it's a very nice safety. Even though he has red mail, you're still not gonna say no to it. Dazed, doing the bomb strats here. Got 2 of them.
Yeah, that was a pretty good bomb throw.
Usually when you do that strat, you kind of hope to get 2. Sometimes you get all 3. Sometimes you get 0, and then everything just goes wrong.
Yeah,
afterwards.
It's just sad. But I mean, Dazed is like, his aim is like 1000%. Like, you just see him like take down that mini Moldorm with the arrow. Like,
and that's not an easy thing to do. Those mini Moldorms love to move around a lot. So shout outs to Dazed for being on point, being proven that Zelda is in fact better than Link when it comes to shooting.
Yes. Although we haven't actually found the archery game yet, and I fully would like P-Train to go in. We don't have to gamble in this case, but we can show off some archery skills. Even though he has 802 rupees, so he probably is not looking for more money.
Well, Dave just missed an arrow, so it's all going horribly wrong now. Some things our runners have found, by the way, since we should talk about that from time to time.
Oh, right. Okay.
Days does have Cane of Burna. P-Train, on the other hand, did pick up the Cape, which was here in
Oh, right.
Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't seen Bumper Ledge yet. That might be where P-Train's headed next. Days also picked up the shovel. We don't know what that leads to quite yet. And I guess it might be a while before we get back to Light World.
It's true, but another thing that he picked up in Paradox was the Hyrule Castle small key, and we have just found a Hyrule Castle, so we can go all the way to the back, into the back of Escape, and get those 3 items there in Logic, which means it could be our hammer.
Yeah, I mean, Days actually, at this point, he actually sequenced most of these things pretty well, right? Because, he had the Eastern Palace big key and the bow, and then he found Eastern Palace, and now he found Hyrule Castle small key before coming right into Hyrule Castle. I mean, it's like, Days might be it's like, is this cross keys? Like, I thought I was supposed to get the stuff I need after the place that I've been to. I mean, this is working out really well for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like this route has actually just paid off rather nicely. Like you said, usually you're not as lucky to get the items that you need to complete things the first time you find them. So yeah, things have worked out in Dade's Cloud's favor, which isn't to say things haven't worked out in P-Train's favor. P-Train has done plenty of things, like finding like we just see Desert. That small key that he has though is taken from the back. He does not have the Desert small key, so probably going to be hesitant on using it right here and now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very common, well, maybe not common, but you certainly see runners trying to steal that small key, just in case they're more willing to, I guess, use it in order to get the right side early. You've got a Desert Palace big key, though. Desert Palace pod big key.
Yeah, that was a pod big key.
We have not found pod yet, and I think both runners in this case have found. I don't know. At least P-Train has found 1 pod small. You really want some more pod smalls, of course. You also want the hammer, but there's nothing really stopping apparently every cross key seed from having at least 1 pod key in pod.
There's always at least 1 key in pod. That's guaranteed. Dazed on his end, going through the front of Escape, did find one of our Turtle Rock small keys. In Logic, because we do have that Hyrule Castle small.
Alright, so I guess I wonder if that's going to kind of try to incentivize him more to go back. He might want another key, but I guess maybe depends on what he ends up finding here in the back, in Dark Cross and back of Escape.
It's interesting because we still have only seen just the 1 entrance to Turtle Rock. So with that 1 small key, we could take that small key and go to Laser Bridge. Or we could take that small key and maybe, explore the front. But, hopefully, if you're Days Cloud, you're kind of thinking that you want to find either the front or back entrance, so you can hold on to the small key and not have to kind of make that decision.
Turtle Rock small key for go mode isn't super pleasant.
I've had that before.
Yeah. Well, you played. I feel like you played a lot of cross key seeds. I feel like maybe that's like part of the vetting, right? In order to try and get second place in a big tournament.
It's true. So something small on Days Cloud's part is that because he is here in the castle in the Dark World, those rats are not rats. Those rats are actually...
That's a great point. Yeah, we just and Days Cloud so convenient to demonstrate that the bombs did not kill the rats.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that was his last bomb, so a little bit luck on his end. Did get rewarded with a sword, though. P-Train, on the other hand, finding the front entrance to Turtle Rock. So when he picks up the Turtle Rock big key, it's, assuming he does and it's required, it's going to be a much easier decision for him to say, hey, I'm just going to take that to Laser Bridge.
This big moment here coming up for P-Train. Which direction will he go? Oh my gosh. Alright, so P-Train has remembered successfully that he does not have hook shot.
I still screw that up.
I mean, that's maybe that's why you're sitting here commentating this match of all kicks.
Okay. Oh no, P-Train missed.
What happened? Like, what happened?
Oh, we're going around. Oh, we're going around again.
Okay.
Well, this was good.
What happened on the first shot? He just fired too early, or
he got the first shot. I don't know what happened with the second shot. He must have fired it too early.
Okay, so meanwhile though, Days though, I mean, that sword is a ridiculously good find. Like, now he doesn't have to do everything basically with bombs, or, you know, Fire Rod or Canis Amaria. He's gonna be able to just slash everything. Speaking of bombs, oh man!
All right,
50
it's
50
fine.
rock! Come on,
It's
50
fine.
50
There's a
rock,
rock
let's
here.
go, yes.
50-50. How many attempts?
Oh my
One.
gosh.
Let's go.
Yep.
All right, attempt 2.
Days is also trying to maybe, oh man, scout out what the enemy price tags are. Alright, so speaking of, so maybe, you know, if he had gone to the gamble game, he would have maybe learned some more stuff about probability, and, you know, it would have worked out in his favor. Alright, finally! Okay, so that's exactly 50-50, I'm pretty sure.
1 for 3. Good enough. P-Train finds one of the other entrances to Paradox, so he's going to pick up his Cane of Burna. There's a hammer, though.
Man,
we have a hammer. That is a nasty spot for that.
You think he's gonna try and farm another bomb so he can get the last entrance?
Yes.
Oh man. Oh, hey. Perfect. Yeah, that's how probably.
4. Yeah, exactly 50%.
50-50. I'm okay. I'm getting so many good math lessons here on this commentary.
This is Spec Rock. I know we've seen.
Yeah, P-Train was here on the other side.
Yeah, I don't recall if he jumped down though, so this might be new information.
Yeah, I don't think he did, because I think he got to the other side and then saw the heart keys, and then I think he went back. Yeah, he definitely has not come back here.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's another Turtle Rock small key.
Yeah.
Huh. Turtle Rock.
Have we been there yet? Do you think there's progression? The fact that we have 2 Turtle Rock small keys and the fire round and the ice round of Canis Amaria?
You know, there might be progression in Turtle Rock.
Alright, okay. So we're gonna just sit back, you know, relax, and wait for Days Cloud to go back to Turtle Rock.
And with the hammer, Trinex is a lot easier.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, and Days Cloud has a big key too. That's right. Yeah, so he's.
Yes, it was on Armos nights.
Oh man, which P-Train still needs to go back and get. Oh.
It's true. So yeah, I'm becoming a little more worried about P-Train in Eastern Palace. I'm not sure if he knows it's a pendant or a crystal at this point.
I have seen 0 map checks so far.
That's
on
fair.
P-Train's side. I don't actually. I don't know if you have a better sense, Waltrace, of when people do map checks in cross keys. Do you wait
the
for a
correct
certain
answer is never.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, well, no. The answer is you do it at your convenience whenever you feel like it. But with the somewhat recent update to the randomizer that now tells you when you have a map, you walk into a dungeon, if it's a pendant or a crystal, there's a lot less incentive to do map checks. At least, you know, my opinion. I might be in the minority here when saying when to do a map check, because for me that answer is almost literally never, unless you're like, hey, am I in go mode? Let's see if I can clear this dungeon, but I can't clear this dungeon. Is X dungeon a pendant or a crystal?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. Because I think once you end up picking up a map, thanks to the new hotfix, there's going to be like an uppercase like C or P. I think we've actually seen it before at some point. Might have been when we picked an Eastern Palace map.
I don't know if I admittedly have not checked to see if we have seen it yet in this seed, considering our tracker has not picked up on anything other than what we saw from when defeating Eastern Palace and into the bomb shop guy. We don't actually know any other information right now.
Yeah. I guess actually, at least for Days Cloud's perspective, once he finds Saha, he doesn't actually have to talk to him because that was the green pendant.
Well, he still has to talk to him because he wants the item.
Oh, right, but we don't need... Right, you're right. Okay, so we have not seen the front of... Oh, no, we have seen the front of Skull Bliss, that's right.
Yeah, that's the cape that P-Train picked up. It'd be interesting to see this cloud goes from here. I gotta imagine Turtle Rock is on his mind. Especially with that second key now. Because now you're not concerned at all about, you know, not being able to clear out the dungeon. You can Days can full clear the dungeon with the 2 keys that he has, because he'll just go to the back, finish off Try and X, and then that immediately warps him to the front of the dungeon, and he'll be able to do the front of Turtle Rock there. The only thing that he can't do is the big chest, but that's its own entrance. Was that bobblehead Link almost squished at that bottom left corner?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and I think P-Train actually had quite a large amount of health, but yeah, as been pointed out in this case, that green guard does a fixed half heart of damage, so it doesn't actually matter what veil you have, blue, red, or green. It's going to be the same rate.
Yeah, so P-Train now heading to the back will pick up his sword.
And of course, and as you pointed out, wall kicks, these rats, P-Train's gonna be a little bit safer with these ropes. Although how he just casually strolled by all of them, I guess is just skill at this point.
you don't even think about it. You see them, you say, "Hey, I'm not gonna bother you. You guys don't bother me. It's fine."
Yeah.
With the red mode though, everything is only going to do half a heart, including the crickets dressed as rats.
Yeah, so maybe in this case, P-Train is going to try and like take a bit more damage, hopefully along the way, because I imagine he's going to want to do something similar to Days Cloud, which is Death Warp out.
Yeah, and he's started doing that as he has moved on, and you're kind of seeing it now, where he's taking damage where he can. Having said that, you don't want to take all the damage before you actually get to the chests.
So about those boots, wall kicks. You had finished dinner, right? I mean, we had to take your word for it early, but we haven't done boots yet.
Okay, well, I mean, I am only one person. Admittedly, there are still some fries left that I haven't eaten.
Oh man, you have fries too. Man, you didn't tell us that. Now I have to wonder what kind of fries you have. You have like curly fries, or like shoestring fries, or
look. I went to McDonald's. Okay.
Oh, okay. McDonald's fries are pretty good.
I mean, they have a shelf life.
Okay, so actually, yeah, I was gonna say, so P-Train actually and Dazed both kind of ended up in the pyramid. We are still looking for that mirror. I mean, and in fact, actually, Dazed even found his way up to to Bumper Ledge, right? These are, these locations are mirror locked. Or sorry, we want to be able to mirror so we can get to the top of Fire Castle. Especially with that cape, right? We can actually get to all 3 entrances, and Dazed would really like to see what's on Light World side as well.
Yeah, so still curious to know where our kind of next progression is. The hammer does open up a little bit, but not a whole lot. Like, we haven't found the hook shot to put left side GT into the lock. We haven't found Pod at all, I don't think.
No,
or Ice Palace.
Yeah, we're definitely pretty short on dungeons here.
A lot of our hammer locked stuff at this point that we have access to is the 2 entrances in the village area, but that's also a little far to get to.
Yeah, and I think actually, so I can't actually quite remember where P-Train found Mimic Cave, but that is an item. That is an item or location open now to Days Cloud because he has a hammer.
Yes, that's true. I admittedly don't remember where that is either.
Yeah, I remember it was very early. I want to say somewhere near Lake Hylia, but
that would make sense. P-Train checking out the Curiosity Shop, something that you don't really see otherwise in the game if you're playing rando.
Yeah, no, that's actually one of the nice things about cross keys is, well, I guess especially when you first started playing cross keys, you learn about all of these new places and entrances that you didn't even realize existed.
Yeah, you learn about how to enter that warp that Days Cloud just did, so you have the necessary iframes to get past some of the enemies there. Luckily, they played very nicely for him, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But that is an area that you will absolutely die to if you don't know exactly how to enter the little warp right there.
Did you also know that you could swim with a big bomb? Wall kicks?
I did.
Okay,
It's
that's cool.
great. And then you try to get through that and you almost die and are forced to use a potion, and you know it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the game trying to make you be more resourceful. Let's go with that.
Absolutely.
Alright, it looks like though Dark World shopping mall area or Ice Rock Cave area isn't very useful. But as you pointed out though, Days Cloud certainly did his due diligence and successfully, safely made it over here.
Yep. A little curious to know where he's going right now.
So with that hammer, Days Cloud actually has like real, normal Dark World access. Looks like he's actually not going to try and do that quite yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because he did, they've already cleared out most of South Darkworld at this point. I don't think there was anything of significance. Oh, he's gonna check the.
Is this the one entrance that he wasn't able to check
that
earlier?
he wasn't able to check earlier. So this is where Red Mail will be, which I don't think Days is gonna pick up, given that he doesn't have a mirror. Okay, he's gonna make a liar out of me. Thank you, Days.
Maybe it's like the sprite. He just likes to. He just likes how Princess Zelda looks in Red Mail.
It's true. Very, very true. Peachin, on the other hand, very nicely pulled off a current jump first try. That is not an easy thing to do.
Especially with the bobblehead, right? Like, I feel like all of the different like timings or like visual cues is, I don't know, like it just gets off the window.
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize this is where Turtle Rock left was, so it made a lot more sense that Days was heading in this direction and was able to loop in the one entrance that he didn't do, because he's going to take this to the back and just finish off.
Yeah, so as you said, like 2 Turtle Rock small keys. We have the big key, we have the hammer, it was very, very important, and we have both rods, and we have Pack Magic, right? So it's not going to be like it's not like an easy fight necessarily, but it's certainly not like the worst, fight that you have to go through.
Yeah, so this check right here is actually the one that's in logic. The rest of the checks in Turtle Rock are not at this point. Chap bringing up a good point. Do you check the laser bridge entrance? I think the answer to that question is yes. We still haven't seen TR bridge.
So we can't get locked out, right? If we check the entrance.
Yes, you run the risk of getting locked out. Although, I think we've already popped out of the pyramids. That's one area that we can't do. If we pop out, say, like either TR or Meyer, like TR main or Meyer main, we can't get back in, or any of the bonker entrances. But I don't see that as being like, I see that as a risk you're willing to take. Had we seen the TR bridge, because there are some connectors that have to connect somewhere, Floating Island, Bumper Cave, and TR bridge all have to be a connector somewhere. So because we've only seen 2 of those, I still think you check this. So we get the flippers.
Yeah, it's certainly very worthwhile. Oh my gosh! Oh no!
Rip.
Oh, well, I mean, if that is just like unsportsmanlike, predictions here from the opposing team of Days Cloud, then I believe that curse is upon us, poor guy. Well, I guess we're not going to see what Trinex holds today, but we did end up we got flippers, which is probably, it's still a very good price. It does unlock a couple of other checks for us. We can go visit Hobo now. That's always a, wonderfully accepted check. In addition, I think we can, with those myths, actually, we can see what is in Ice Pot Lake Hylia Island entrance.
Yeah, so I mean, the flippers do plenty for us at this point.
Oh, we haven't gotten a shovel check yet. That's right.
We have not.
All right.
We get ourselves a blue boomerang. Some of you may consider that the best boomerang. I would tend to agree.
It is. It stuns things, which I think.
It stuns.
That
is the most middle answer I have ever heard.
It's a technically correct answer. Well, thanks, I believe the best kind of correct.
Yeah, I cannot dispute that.
And I also don't believe we've checked the stun prize so far. We have no hook shot.
Stun prize Shmun. Nope, not even gonna. Nope. Moving on. P-Train heading over to the asteroid area will pick up his hammer and be very happy for that. Meanwhile, Dazed back in Kakariko, not really sure where he is going to. We'll be heading back towards the mountain. Wonder what he has interest of on the mountain.
All I can see is P-Train having 4 bombs to his name, and he doesn't have to go through any of the 50-50 rock pulls that the Days Cloud had to go through.
Makes it easy.
I mean, unless I guess he wants to give us a math lesson, but my guess is he probably doesn't want to. Did you just see what Days Cloud did to those Moldors with the bow? I mean, it's just...
I also saw him drop a bomb, so...
I mean, maybe that bomb was an anchor bomb, right? Just, it held him steady in order to get some good aim. I mean, but like, geez, like, you just sniped those mini Moldorms. Dazed.
Hey, almost got through, but here's a crystal that we can do. And makes sense for Days, so this will give him his... this will be his first crystal, actually, will not be his second crystal. Chat telling us that Turtle Rock was a crystal, so P-Train will need to finish off Eastern Palace to get that TR big key.
Yeah, so Days is going to drop into Moth here. He does have the hammer. He does have a couple fire rod shots left to his name. But he doesn't have boots, which is probably like the worst part of this fight. But it looks like he's actually managing just fine with that hammer. And as you said, wall kicks, why take damage from the spikes? Well, you can just take damage from Moth, because that's only half a heart, I think?
With Threadmill, yes.
Yeah.
We have taken 1 hit, though, from spikes, so I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, Moth is not cooperative. You see him, I think you see Days landing like multiple hammer hits that, I don't know, may or may not have registered based on where the spikes were. But yeah, but Days claims his first crystal at just shy of the 1 hour mark.
Alright, so P-Train is... I'm not sure where P-Train is necessarily headed. Because I know he's done Dig Game. There might have been a connector here, I guess. Oh no, there's GT. Where are we going?
I guess he wants to do right side? Because he hasn't done that yet.
He has not done right side. He also has the hammer. I suspect he might bomb jump the Stalfos room.
Right, you're absolutely right.
Although with 3 bombs, this is risky. It's doable because it only takes 2 to bomb jump this, but
yeah, maybe he's just interested in just like Stalfos room, right? Like, I think if you have more bombs, you can keep going, right?
Yeah, like this like trying to bomb jump all the way to like say random room, it eats up a lot of bombs, and then you need a bomb for random room.
Mm-hmm. No, but P-Train though, certainly, I mean, he used those 2 bombs like really nicely.
And then he's gonna set up a death warp here, using the fireballs to his advantage.
Oh, look at that, free bombs, right? The game is so easy. Just when you need an item, just find it in the next chest.
Yeah, meanwhile, Dazed, seeing that the other end of Paradox, I believe, actually set him up here towards the left side of Desert, was able to pick up that small key. Did not read that at all. Was it a Turtle Rock key?
Here I was hoping that you actually saw the text, because I also didn't see the text. GT Small. Thank you, Mindful Beast. Yeah, shout outs again to our tracker. Obviously paying a lot more attention to this when our runners are fighting than we are doing. I mean, especially it's more difficult to do cross keys. Have a lot more things to keep track of.
Yep. But Days Cloud is back in Turtle Rock for round 2. Not round 2 as in he died to Trinex or anything, but this time to actually face Trinex and not get immediately locked out when he left Laser Bridge.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was for science. He just needed to know what insurance was. Yeah.
We appreciate his science experiment. Now we know for future rando generations that in this exact seed, to not take Laser Bridge entrance.
Yes. I guess I'm curious to see if P-Train will also do the same thing. Oh man, though. Thank goodness. Maybe this is why Days Clouds ends up picking up the red mail. But I feel like sometimes with red mail, you can basically be a bit more brazen with your movement, because everything just feels like it doesn't do much damage. I think that fall from P-Train was unintentional. Because looks like that was round 2. He does have a bit more health compared to Days, in addition to that cape.
So yeah, he's got a lot more safeties for this, and he almost still got hit.
Part of, in this case, Krosky sometimes is a double-edged sword, just in terms of what you have to work with in certain rooms, right? So especially if you're pretty well practiced, let's say with Canis Maria and like boots or sword beams, right? For this room, all great for you, but then sometimes you have to kind of do things a little bit more unconventionally, and that can can certainly be a bit more frustrating, especially if you're not used to stuff like this.
All right, Trinex on Days' side, pulling out the hammer.
I'm hoping for boots.
I'm sure it will be something that is red.
You mean like a red rupee? I don't want to think about this. Alright, yeah, so Days, with that half magic, he is basically going to spam his fire rod on the ice head.
Please be careful. P-Train going as far as you can possibly go before setting up that.
Yeah, glad he didn't fall off. Also, so Days actually showing us just a slight nuance, right? So normally, when quick swap is available, you try and quick swap over the hammer in this case because you don't have anything better. But you can't actually do anything while the explosion is going. So you actually see Days Cloud in this case kind of like having a menu, as opposed to like doing something during the cutscene. Days Cloud, how long have you been playing this game, man? I'm sorry if you listen to this back and hear this. It's only in jest, of course.
We've all done it. It's let's go to where the guy's blowing up for the item, and it's like nah, center, dude.
He does pick up
deciding that the first chest in Ice Armos is not relevant to him.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, I guess third time's the charm here for P-Train.
But that is crystal number 2 for Days Cloud. Starting to pick up a little bit of a lead on P-Train. If for nothing else, he's clearing dungeons. Something that it's not like P-Train has a lot of dungeons that he can full clear right now. But at some point, you do need to make the transition over from checking entrances and doing item caves to, hey, let's go into dungeons and start clearing the dungeons that I can.
Yeah.
Again, I'm still really surprised he has not gone back to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, so Eastern Palace certainly looks like to be, pretty big bottleneck. But right now, at least Skull Woods is open to him. He hasn't found it yet, though, right? I don't think so.
P-Train hasn't seen the back of Skull Woods.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that is another option for him. Like that doesn't require he has everything he needs right now to clear it, right? But that Eastern Palace tip though, with the TR big key locking in this case Turtle Rock and beating out Trinex for that, I guess. But P-Train will have to be his fire shield.
Yeah, and that's time that Dazed has banked on P-Train. So when P-Train does it, that's going to be 2.5-3 minutes that Daze is going to have to expand his inventory of checks and potential items.
I think every single time Days Cloud sees a heart piece, he's like really nervous about getting that heart refill, especially when he's like spending all this time basically to death warp.
P-Train did just find a spiral cave, which is locked by the mitts and the hammer. So interesting to see if this ends up leading to something.
Yeah,
I don't recall where the smith was, but considering it has to be somewhere that is in the light world and at worst glove locked, I'm sure we've seen it.
P-Train also did pick up the smith, so I'm also going to assume that we have seen it. We just don't know, I guess, where exactly it is right now.
Yeah, that Hera big key could be interesting. We know where Hera is actually. And
right,
if something like the hookshot is behind it, that could be something that gives P-Train a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, and with no hookshot in sight, right? There is no, in this case, Harapod options. Well, and Petrie can actually just go up, and this case basically clear the dungeon.
Yep, and turned out Smith was just here in North Kakariko, so easy.
Oh, perfect. So Petrie's gonna do a map check. He's gonna find out the Skull Blitz is a crystal. Or just enter the back of Skull Blitz and just find out the, more convenient way.
Yeah, we get the Meyer map as well, so Mimikay was actually just in Kakariko. Very, very quick and easy. A little bit surprised Petrin hasn't gone back to it. But yeah,
maybe this is going to be the Eastern Palace play here, and then he's going to, after he finishes this, he's going to go back and make his way south again.
Yep, so this is good for Petrin. This is what he needs to do, because Turtle Rock is a crystal, and the TR Big is here on Armos. Looks like Daze is probably going to follow a little bit what Petrin just did. I suspect Daze will probably take this over once he finishes the village entrances, check the Hammer Pegs entrance, and pick up the Hera Big Key as well.
Yeah, and of course, unlike, Bobblehead Link, we actually, got to see the pulling animation on Daze Cloud side.
You love to see it sometimes, just so you know that something is actually happening.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Actually, so yeah, so Daze Cloud is also giving at least me a reminder that Swamp Palace is indeed here, which we haven't found the dam yet, I guess, apparently.
No dam, no Swamp Small, so as of right now, Swamp is low priority.
And we also don't have that hook shot. I think entering Hookless Swamp is more common in cross keys, right?
Yeah, it's not like, it still is not great to do, but given that you're probably not going through the 500 mirror transition just to have access to Swamp Palace, it is a slightly better option in cross keys than it is in non-cross keys.
So 500, is that another math lesson for us? Like, should we actually count the number of mirror transitions in like a regular C? I guess we can do that later.
500 is definitely the correct answer,
Okay.
Please trust me.
Alright. I mean, it's for like large values of, 2 or 3 or 1 or whatever. Yes. Alright, so P-Train looks like he confirmed, I guess, yes, we must have found the map to Eastern Palace, but also confirmed that P on the upper left picks up his green pendant. We have not found Saha, right? Yet? Right, so so in this case, whenever they find Sahashala and go into the back, so they're going to be able to both turn in that green pendant, and hopefully in this case at least something. Maybe it'll be Vanilla Boots. Daze, though, going through Hammer Pegs, right, finding, in this case, the connector, is going to opt to actually not follow it.
I think he's probably going to pick up the Smith and then come back for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because, like, P-Train did that. Or not. We're going to go not to the Smith. We're going to check
We're
connector.
Going to go here. Oh, yeah, we're doing... Oh.
He
knows it's here,
right?
because he did... Yeah, because he did right side.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he just needed a reminder in this case. But okay, yeah, it looks like he's gonna pick up the Smith and he's gonna follow in P-Train's footsteps. Although meanwhile though, P-Train, as following some pretty good advice that you gave earlier, Wall Kicks, he is in another dungeon, and with a Hera Big Key, he is just gonna fully clear this place.
Yep, and picks up our third TR small key. So we are almost fully in logic for Trinex, so that shield that Daze has can soon be used.
I can't wait to have a fire shield for blind. Because I'm sure these runners need a fire shield in order to kill blind, right?
Yes, fire shield 100% required. Alright, Moldorm. Definitely not a mean boss and one who can knock you off.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Peter's doing a pretty good job here with this hammer. Oh, actually, pretty well behaved. 3 hammer hits. Yeah, it's gonna be able to take this down.
Get a small key. 2 Gannett Tower and another. Oh, that sucks.
Oh man. Well, maybe that GT small is required.
No, but I mean, maybe at this point you got to start thinking PED.
I mean, it's possible, right? Like, so we still don't have complete knowledge, right? We still don't know what our last pendant is. We haven't even seen
No,
any maps, right?
we haven't, or neither runner still has done a map check, but those are two fully in logic pendant dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
So if our third one is also readily in logic, say Misery Mire, once we pick up either the hookshot or boots, pedestal could be a thing.
Mm-hmm. At least for days, though, like if he's already got one crystal dungeon under his belt, I don't know. I don't know
Yes,
how
two.
great Peach. Sorry, yes, you're right. He has. Yeah, that's right. He's two. But in this case, like Peach Rain, like the only two dungeons he's done, um, has basically been pendants. Hope he doesn't feel too bad. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, as big a deal across keys.
I was gonna say, like, Peter's probably not feeling great knowing that his first two dungeon clears were pendants. You're hoping that at least one of those would have been a crystal. But with the TR big, three smalls, and everything he needs to complete, I suspect Petron is going to make clearing TR a somewhat high priority.
Yeah, looks like actually potentially that's where he's hoping to go soon. Yeah, because like so he's picked up actually 3 turtle X walkies, right? I think Dates only had 2 when he went in.
Yes.
Yeah, so he is definitely thinking with that turtle rock big key that I just got from Eastern Palace that I could have had, potentially, quite some time ago. This is gonna be definitely a good place to be. Oh, he's gonna check Mimic Cave. That's right. He remembers.
I suspect for P-Train it's going to be Mimic Cave, probably into Dark World, maybe to pick up the purple chest and turn in purple chest on your way to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that would be pretty efficient. So, man, it would be really nice though if we had any type of like better movement, right? We have no flute, no boots, no hookshot. Like we're just holding, right and down basically everywhere.
It's not. Yeah, this has been a slow moving seed, unfortunately. Item wise, we've been fine. Oh, P-Train throwing it at the wrong.
Good thing he has more bombs.
You think he has one more bomb?
Yeah, and of course, for P-Train, it would be especially nice even if he had just boots here, because I believe P-Train feels pretty comfortable with getting all the items out of Hookshot Cave once he has some footwear.
Yep. Gotta say though, this was a neat little routing by P-Train. I did not realize that the hookshot connector led him to right here. So that was a very nicely done on his part to recognize that, hey, I can get over to Turtle Rock quickly while at the same time taking care of Mimic Cave.
It's almost as if these guys have played cross keys once or twice before, to just be able to make these connections very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that you see in top level cross keys runners, is that, like you said, they're able to recognize when taking a connector is easier than walking from Link's house.
Yeah, especially when, in this case, like the fewer nicer movement items you have, right, the more conscious or more, I guess, like impactful your routing is. So it's definitely even more heads up on these runners, right, to be able to know like what's faster. It's just more punishing you to take a slower route.
Yeah, and so now the interesting thing is, P-Train is probably going to take the laser bridge exit, right? Like he's probably about to get these 4 checks and then get locked out.
Do you think it's harder to? Oh man, do you think it's harder to go back to Trinex? Versus like, do you think it's harder to go back to the whole dungeon again?
I don't know.
I mean, that's probably like one of the questions that Peach is asking himself, right? It's like, if I get locked out, right? Because he in this case he is, because we still don't have the mirror. Oh man. So what's I guess what's going to be slower potentially? Because it kind of sucks either way.
Yeah. Whatever decision he makes, you can argue that whatever decision he makes is like the right decision for him.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it made a lot more sense for Days to check the entrance because he did it a lot earlier. P-Train has a lot more done coming in here. So for P-Train, it might not mean as much to try to find where this connector leads.
He was thinking, all right, looks like he is gonna take it and gonna get locked out. I see no race slashes though for P-Train, so maybe he's just cool and collected.
Yep, we're just gonna casually move on. No big deal. Definitely not fuming over the fact that we just got locked out.
One of the benefits I would say of SGL, which is like another tournament going on, right? Concurrently, is that SGL has face cams, and it's so nice to be able to see the reactions of all of the runners, and I would just love to be able to see like Days and P-Train like react to when in this case they got locked out.
Let's see. Does P-Train actually have his camera going on his personal stream right now? Let's find out. He does not. Sag.
Okay, all right. The requirement for next week is that he needs his camera on. we need to see all of these reactions.
All right, I'm sure he'll oblige with SG Live.
Yeah. All right. Actually, so it looks like Days is gonna follow up on the shovel that he got from Paradox Cave, like I don't know, 15 minutes ago or something like that. We can pick up his blue boomerang. Our first stunning item.
Yes. P-Train contemplating a little bit what he's going to do. I mean, I don't think our runners have done any of the water checks.
You are correct. And Days tried to do a sequence break it out early, but I think I pointed out by chat a little bit earlier that we unfortunately could not. We had to reset some arc variables for Ancilla. So maybe this is going to be Days' like real flipper attempt.
All right, here's something you don't see every day: 20 bombs, 40 arrows. Clear Mouse, you remember when arrow and bomb upgrades are actually in item pool?
I do actually. I mean, we saw like, I don't know, like 35, 40 bombs like by the time like the seed was over, and like 60 arrows or something. Yeah, this is like a throwback basically.
It's so nice. Like there's definitely not a bingo board on the side here because...
Oh, right. There's not, right? Okay. But what did we roll again? We rolled cross keys?
We did roll cross keys, and unfortunately having a bingo card, allows for a lot of metagaming, so would not be smiled upon here in this scenario.
All right. So first flipper checks here, right?
Yep.
We got just a piece of heart on Hobo. Days, I'm so impressed that you remember that you have the real flippers. Big flippered over. We're gonna check Hobo. Let's see how much he remembers when he has the real ones.
I was like, I'm still not sure he knows he actually has flippers. I mean, that fake flipper would have failed, so hopefully that did clue him in on the fact that he has flippers.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe he just remembers the fact he got locked out of Laser Bridge. Was probably the more impactful thing. So close to the back of Saha. There was another hut, but not the thing that we were looking for. Does that also look like a fake flipper?
I mean, fun enough, that would have been a successful fake flipper.
Alright, okay, alright, so we're still not sure whether or not Days remembers he has real flippers.
He did just walk onto the shallow water, so he is aware at this point that he has actual flippers. P-Train does find Ice Palace, which is something that we can clear. No big key, so it would be leaving behind the big chest, but I don't think that's going to stop either runner at this point.
Yeah, no, especially with that Cane of Samaria.
Yeah.
Alright, so both going to be some really nice payouts, both for P-Train and Days. Finally going to follow some flippers, the real flippers for Days. Days is going in first. So if P-Train finds the big key to Ice Palace here, which is still possible, this is going to be, it could be pretty big here for P-Train.
A little curious, because, like, if P-Train, say, finds the Ice Palace, okay, this wasn't the Ice Palace, but, like, I'm a little surprised Days immediately jumped in. I would have expected him to do what P-Train did, which is, go to the Zora area real quick to make sure, you aren't explicitly finding the Ice Palace big key right before you pop in, and potentially leaving yourself with a last location scenario.
I am very impressed with Days Cloud's usage of Quake there. Like, so he not only knows that Quake ends up killing Pengators, he actually timed it such that all the Pengators were on the ground. So otherwise, if they were like jumping at you, like the Quake would not have worked.
Yeah, not something you expect the SNES to be capable of, but yeah, the SNES will recognize when an enemy is in the air, like the Pengators when they jump, and if you use Quake at the wrong time, nothing happens to them.
Yeah, and given that, okay, so P-Train, Days actually does have, in this case, 10 bombs, right? So maybe in this case, either he didn't want to do the bomb setup, or he didn't save them for later. P-Train, though, assuming he's comfortable with like the bomb setup, I feel like he could probably spare 1 or 2, given that he did buy, some, and totally not for bingo.
P-Train, though, showing us that North America AIM still exists, because his aim right there wasn't as sharp as Days has been, but,
Oh my gosh, dude, this dude, is that a different setup?
I was gonna say that's the setup I've seen.
I was gonna say, so like normally I was like, oh, maybe it's because that bobblehead sprite, right, is like, you can't really tell like where the bomb throws are, but yeah, that is definitely different in order to take down all the pin gators. We need to ask him about that. I would have laughed if that was the big key. Yeah, if that was the big key to Ice Palace, like in Ice Palace, it's like, okay, well, that's convenient.
Honestly, like if I'm in a dungeon, if there's a big key in the dungeon, I would be 100% okay with finding big keys in their vanilla dungeon.
Like Eastern, right?
Except Eastern.
Yeah, and also as as another item that P-Train is going to pick up here very shortly after Icebreaker, we actually found our first bottle at like 1 hour and 20, which I think we also did find Sick Kid. I want to say we found Sick Kid much earlier, so
yeah, we found Sick Kid a while ago. All right, Clearmouse, are the boots in here?
If they are, I certainly hope they're not in the big chest, because we're not going to come back here for quite some time. But we have to find something at this point, right? Like, what do we have left? I mean, it just feels like we haven't either like found anything. We don't.
The mirror opens up a number of things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Days doesn't have it yet.
He will shortly.
Right.
But,
yeah.
The mirror for entrance-wise just gives us a lot. We have not actually found a way over to the mire area yet. That's likely
true.
At this point just flat out flute locked.
Yeah,
but
and
we still haven't seen Eastern Palace, or no, Palace of Darkness, the other one there, and I think that's it.
We haven't found the dam.
Haven't found the dam. I don't think we've seen Mire, but at the same time,
correct.
We can't do anything.
Yeah, we haven't found Mire. So we do have one of those mirror lock locations to like World Bumper Ledge. I think both runners have been finding their way to Dark World, so once in that mirror, they can go back and check that. Alright, just spam that fire rod. I mean, Cold Stare didn't stand a fighting chance.
That's why half magic is so nice. We get a small key to Castle Tower.
Oh, good. Speaking of Castle Tower, I don't think we found that yet either, right?
I haven't found it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. It wasn't the Magic Bat that was behind Lumberjack, because we saw P-Train do Magic Bat over at Eustace Ferry a little while ago. Alright, so the Desert Big was the one in Logic, but without the Desert Small, Landmill.
Yeah, we haven't found it, and so I know P-Train for sure stole the key from the back. I don't actually remember if Days did or not.
I don't think he did.
Okay.
So they both still can do Landmill. That's not an issue.
It really makes you miss boots here, because so often you just be able to get to water walk or dash or something. You don't have to like swim through these like random canals, and then you see Days either accidentally hopping out of the water and making rage slashes because he hopped out of the water, or you just trying to push A, spamming A a bunch of times.
I think it was the second one. I think he was just spamming A, and spamming A unfortunately at a time where you're not in the water.
Alright, so unfortunately it looks like P-Train actually kind of ran out of some fire rod shots, but I mean, he is pretty adept with that hammer and holding out his sword, so takes down Cold Stare just as easily. Yep,
so now with this mirror, we have plenty of options at our disposal.
So I know that our runners checked race game, but I don't think we found a connector yet. No, but we can get there now with the mirror, right?
Yeah, we can get to the race game, which is a big key, by the way.
You think it's a big key to Ice Palace?
That would be terrible. But funny.
Funny for us, right? I'm sure these runners would not be very amused.
One thing to consider, though, with that mirror, is that P-Train does have probably a little bit... Oh, hello, mirror.
Wow, hi, map check.
All right, Pendant Pod, that's what you needed to know.
Okay. Oh, right.
Oh, and we find the
Oh my
right
gosh.
entrance of Turtle Rock, which is great for P-Train because he can now just go straight to Trinex. I was gonna say, because we have the mirror and the mitts and all 3 medallions, if P-Train wanted to, he could actually go to TR main, open it up, and do Laser Bridge from there. But finding this entrance mitigates that entirely.
Yeah,
Days, on the other hand,
Mhm.
finds Agate Tower.
Yeah, and Force with the Fire Rod. Despite how somehow our runners are still on Fighter Sword after like an hour and 30. They're gonna have to find that second sword at some point, right?
Look, I had a ladder seed the other day where my go mode was 2 swords, and I found the first one at an hour and 48.
That's awful. That's awful. I mean, at least look at that prize that Days just found.
That's a nice
Thanks.
flute, and I'm
Yeah.
beginning to think that the big key that's on race game, I'm starting to think that might be the ice big.
Well, so I mean, we are still missing Swamp Big, right? That is another key. We are still missing Turtle Rock, Thieves Town Big Key, right? We haven't found that yet.
But I'm thinking, the Castle Tower key that gave us our flute was on Cold Stare. So unless we find the other one somewhere that's not, not locked behind the ice big key.
Oh yeah, you're
we
right.
need that ice
yeah.
big. We need the ice big key to get the flute. Potentially. So knowing that there's a big key there, maybe that big key might be Ice Palace.
I can't believe you're using like logic and like sequencing like to try and piece together these things. It's almost as if you played Crocs keys before.
Look,
okay.
Contrary to popular belief, there is a reason I came in second place.
Oh, right. Okay. Only one reason? Oh.
Yeah, just the one reason, and
Okay.
that's paying off my. No, I'm just kidding. I mean.
All right. So it looks like maybe Days I assume maybe he just maybe like mismarked some of the entrances. They are pretty close together, but looks like he is pretty interested in clearing out and claiming at least what we know is his next crystal, based on the fact that he got the Desert Palace big key.
Yeah, so P-Train actually, with full knowledge, we can actually start to take a look and be like, okay, we need X, Y, and Z for go mode. X, Y, and Z being the hook shot, the Swamp Small Key, and the Thieves Town Big Key.
You forgot boots. All kicks. I'm pretty sure we need boots, so the runners can at least have some fun in the seed. And a sword, right? We need a sword. Something like that.
And a sword, and the dam. So A, B, C, D, E.
Oh my gosh, we get to learn about the alphabet too. Oh, I feel like this is like Sesame Street. You get to learn about numbers and letters, and oh man, this is gonna be great. Oh, P-Train actually is a very good spot. He is missing a bunch of stuff, as we just said. He remembers that with that mirror, we can get to the top of Pyro Castle.
Yep, and chat pointing out another thing. There is a big key on the GT Torch, so something to think about. That hey, maybe we will get the boots this seed.
And go mode boots isn't really all that is cracked up to be.
Go mode boots is the worst thing in the world, particularly when Ganon is at Lumberjack.
Oh right, that's right. Wait, isn't there some sort of like how does that Armos
shake storage?
Storage?
Yeah, you need a very specific set of things to happen. Days, please. Pulling out Ether Medallion to take care of these mini mold arms, which is the fast way to do it. It just, at the same time, you're like, God, I gotta hit L or R as fast as I can to get over there.
Alright, there's our Desert Palace small off of the NPC. Hey, we got a sword! Oh, finally.
Alright, so we're down to just A, B, C, and D for go mode.
So did you say something about usually in cross key Cs, but that's how you get to Ganon, you're on like on gold sword and like silvers? Are we still missing a couple things?
Look, we're still missing a few of those things. You're not wrong, but at the same time, these runners can handle a Master Sword, silvers.
They can, but do they want to? Okay, so Days Clouds ends up finding Pod here on East Death Mountain. We only have, sadly, 2 Pod Smalls, though. It's certainly not going to be enough in order to get all the stuff out of Pod. Oh my gosh, though. Yeah.
Alright, so this mirror has turned into something very important this seed. Sort of like, I kind of call it the linchpin of a seed. basically went like the one thing that kind of locks the most amount of things, and this seed turns out to be the mirror. Dazed now knows that this is a pendant because there's that nice little P at the top left.
Okay, so maybe the Dazed is like not as I guess concerned about maybe going all the way to kill Helma. Oh, Skull Woods, man. Oh.
Ew. Alright, well.
We were both already there, right? Both Dazed and P-Train have already cleared out the front of Skull Woods.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, right now, like it's and they already had the fire rod over there. You know, when they were there, so then there's like very little reason or incentive for them to go back there.
Yeah. All right. So P-Train is heading towards. These guys are just going back Dark World. Might be doing some of the. Is he just going straight to the Skull Big Chest?
I guess he's here.
That seems a little. I don't want to say desperate, but this is a little bit of a commitment, knowing, you know, you have access at this point to East Death Mountain. You know, you maybe want to head over in that area first, but you know, if this is something, then this is something big.
Mm-hmm. Do you happen to remember if they ended up checking Light World's Death Mountain Ascent?
I feel like one has, but I don't know which one.
Okay, yeah, because I guess that could be something else over here if he's trying to like make the rounds, I guess. But it looks like we're just gonna go further south. So unfortunately, the Skull Woods Big Chest was not the thing that P-Train was looking for.
Yep, and Dazed only checking out the front half of Pod, even though he has 2 keys and could have conceivably gone to the back. But not going to worry too much about that. It's not logic, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, and so like also in entrance modes, a little bit actually different than for key logic as compared to I guess like non-entrance modes is there's no conditional. Everything is always going to be like hard required for like 4 keys or 6 keys in order to get to Helma. I think there's like conditional logic for like the big chest, right? Non-entrance, like I don't know, 4 keys and like the hammer and the bow or something, or 5 keys, or I'm forgetting what the exact is.
It is still possible in cross keys to have a small key in the vanilla big key chest or harmless hellway.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh right. You can actually yes, you can get self-locking keys.
Yes.
For example, you get the not in this case, but you can get the Thief's Stone Small that locks itself.
All right, so P-Train gonna go ahead and finish off Desert, get his 3rd crystal. There's the dam over on Days Cloud's side, which again checks off another thing. So we are down to A, B, and C.
Was that the order? Are we just gonna take them, or was it like A, B, and D? I forgot the order. You said things already.
Yes. So
yes, that is a good answer. Yes. So I mean, so this is gonna be good news for Days, right? But finding the dam, he also knows where actually Swamp is, like right here, right? In the Kakarika? No, it's in Dark World. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's in Dark World, but he's still no Swamp Small. So not a whole lot we can do.
We can get the first chest.
We could get the first.
What if the Swamp Small is vanilla, Kids?
That is terrible.
I thought you said that you like finding. Oh, you said you only like finding big keys in their vanilla location. Not small keys. Got it. Okay.
Correct. But Dave's going to take this flute, activate it, probably head over to the Mire area. Although he might also want to check out real quick what's the big key on Race Game.
Oh right, yeah, that's also true. And so Days, of course, having this flute at least momentarily or a little bit sooner than P-Train, it's going to give him some much nicer movement advantage. Also, he has a hookshot too. I forgot. Yeah. But it looks like though, P-Train's going to get his flute very shortly here.
Yep, and with that hookshot, we can do hookshot games.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so the boots here are they hookshot locked?
They're probably hookshot locked, either here or in Mire.
Or maybe we can find like Thief's Big or something, and then they could be in the back of Thieves Town.
We also have a lot more of GT, like we have left side GT at this point.
Oh yeah, we actually have real GT and logic with that hook shot. I mean, both of them obviously demonstrating their adeptness with bombs in order to get to Alpha's room. Oh man, hookshot cave though.
Oh,
maybe,
it's saved.
Maybe
it's
not.
The bug net.
but
we're saved.
But I mean, they already found the hookshot. They don't need to hover over, you know, with the Fairy Death Revival over onto East Death Mountain.
Semantics.
Oh, right. P-Train hasn't actually done Skull Woods and the back of Skull Woods yet. Yeah, there's going to be another crystal that he's going to be able to claim. Okay, so maybe this is going to be a quick peek into Swamp, followed by race game, or maybe just only race game.
I would say that this seems to be a beeline to race game.
Yeah. Did you see, like, man, like, so that Sphere was chasing Dazed, right? He just literally just turned around though, use that fighter shield, to defend that thing off, and then just, you know, continue as if he was never interrupted.
True. I will point out that P-Train has Fire Shield, so when he fights blind, he's going to be very well protected, as opposed to Daze Cloud. Unless Daze Cloud picks up another shield, Daze Cloud will be completely exposed.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, neither do I.
Do you think Daze is going to chase this?
No.
Well, not at least so far. I mean, he does.
I say that, but he's going back. Oh no, he's checking this entrance. I was about to say he's going back to the portal. No, he's just checking the entrance.
That is the lesser desirable side of Ice Rod Cave.
What are you talking about? You can get a B.
Maybe Daze wanted a B. He does have the bug net.
he wanted to go back in the portal because he wants to check Cave 45.
Okay. So I know that P-Train did it. I did not think it was anything important.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go with that. And you know what? We're gonna just find out what K45 has. Maybe it was important.
I don't think it was.
Okay, sounds good. It was not important whatsoever. Yeah, speaking of shops, apparently all the shops decided to like move over from the shopping mall area into like the top of Hyrule Castle, because all three entrances. We saw 2 shops up there and like a fairy fountain.
Ooh, hello, big key.
Ooh, Ice Palace.
Or a big key to Thieves
Town. All right.
I think we go straight to Thieves Town. At
yeah,
this point.
that's 100% correct.
Nope, Daze Cloud isn't. Daze Cloud hasn't found Thieves Town, I don't think, because that's over at Eastern Palace.
You're right. Oh yeah, you're. Oh. Good.
And I don't
imagine remembering things. Good job remembering things and cross keys while kicks.
I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think Dazed has seen Thieves Town.
I'm also proud of Daze Cloud not bothering to check the medallion because he has all 3 medallions.
So having said that, we are Swamp Small and finding Meyer for go mode at this point. And another. Nope, we don't need another sword.
We would like another sword, by the way. It would be, you know, maybe, or we would like either another sword. That's probably more preferable to having Binding Silvers. Although, you know, Silvers would be pretty nice for Vitreous. Yeah, the bow though. I'm sure they'll be fine. You think P-Train's played NMG before? You think he knows how to handle Vitreous with the bow?
I think he'll do just fine.
Okay. You know, P-Train having the foresight to buy arrow upgrades. He has so many arrows now. He could actually like use a bunch of arrows like for phase 1. And I mean they're only on Master Sword as well, so.
Yep. So here is Misery Mire for Daze Cloud. So if Swamp Small is in here, then that's just go mode.
Come on, Boots. I know we can find you. Please kick us some dust for us so we have an indicator.
I was gonna say Daze still does need to find Thieves Town, but he'll exhaust all of his entrances looking for it, and he will find it.
He also has a flute, right? So pretty now straightforward to go over to like Blue Spot 5.
Yeah, and I think Daze kind of recognizes the situation he's in, because he's going straight to Vitreous. So this is a little bit of a ambitious play, because if the Swamp Swallow is just here on Biddy, he'll check this right here as well. Then, cool, I just skipped all of Misermire. Likely not going to be the case, but...
It is something pretty specific, but I guess in cross keys it's not as bad, I guess, to come back to Mire, as in like a second time. Because I know like in non-entrance, like people, like there are only 2 items in Mire, and especially if you're close, like people like to just try and gamble the last item on Vitreous, but is that not as common in cross keys?
I think it's just situational awareness.
Okay.
Like, Chat saying that maybe should have gone right to take care of Spike Chest, and that's a reasonable decision to make. Like, it takes care of another check along your path.
They thought, yeah, I was gonna say, showing us the usefulness of that blue boomerang because he didn't have sword beams to hit the switch.
So Peaching with the hookshot probably gonna go straight to Hookshot Cave. Also needs to activate his flute. So this is still a very close race. Like, if P-Train takes this flute, checks the dam, because it's amazing like how often you don't think about going to the dam. But if he goes to the dam, that's a required big key. He's probably gonna prioritize the Mire area as well, which would give him Misery Mire. So this is still a tight race.
Yeah, and given that P-Train, like, this is kind of like the most... I mean, I want to say this is like the highest sphere item. Oh, wow. Oh, man, silver is perfect. I always wanted another bow after I killed Vitreous. Well, at least, their Ganon fight, if they have nothing else after this, right, is not going to be, like, absolutely terrible, because at least, like, phase 4 won't be 24 spins, it'll just be 4 silver arrows.
Yep.
Hopefully only 4.
Yep. Okay, so where's P-Train heading? P-Train might be heading to check... Nope, I was going to think this might be a first chest swamp check.
Yeah, nope, he's running away. Or walking past, in this case, Swamp Palace. Or he is going straight back into checking the first chest in Swamp Palace. Got it.
Hey.
He's just faking us out. Alright, let's see if this is vanilla.
If it's vanilla, I think that's actually kind of bad for Dazed. It is not.
It is not. Did he just like stand there and wave at the timing?
There and was like, sword beam.
Wow.
Alright, this is purple chest, which I don't think we've actually seen from either runner.
I think actually Dace did turn this in. Yeah, he did because he grabbed it pretty early and then he turned it for 3 bombs.
Oh, okay. Well.
It was a pretty unfortunate turn in. I mean, did he even have the mirror? He didn't have the mirror even at that point either.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clearmouse, for clearing that up, as well as chat and our wonderful tracker, Mindful Beast. Alright, so that is Thieves Big for P-Train. So yeah, at this point it's a race to find the Swamp Small.
And then I guess on Day's side, he still needs to find Thieves Town, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know where it is, but he hasn't been over there, so...
I suspect he's going to prioritize that.
Yeah. But this really makes sense for P-Train, right? Because he knows where Thieves is. He just picked up the Thieves Town big key. He also had Thieves Town small key, so should be pretty straightforward for him.
And if he finds the Swamp Small here in Thieves Town, he straight go modes.
And he's just going straight to the back, yeah. And he's going to be able to pick up the silvers along the way, which is going to be really beneficial.
So, there is still very much a race to be had. Like, this is still anybody's race.
Mm-hmm.
So very close, very exciting, which is what you want to see, given 2 really good cross keys runners in P-Train and Dazed.
If only we could get boots so they could move a little bit faster.
Clearmouse, I called it way earlier. The boots just sadly aren't happening. I
don't know how much, these guys had to bribe you, but apparently it wasn't enough. Maybe they could have gotten you some better condiments for your chicken nuggets, right? Like you said, you like barbecue, and I don't know. I mean, maybe we could spice it up with them sriracha or something.
Hey, I'd give it a shot. I'm not a big sriracha guy, but maybe. All right,
Another,
skull
okay.
small.
All
Every
right.
small key that we pick up now is like a, it's the, and it's like, oh,
Oh my
ew,
gosh,
mushroom,
the mushroom.
gross.
Oh. Yeah, actually, I mean, the small could be in pod, right? There's nothing wrong with having pen and pod have some.
Oh yeah, like there's still plenty to do. Like we have the entirety of all the backup pod. We have I think 6 checks in left side GT. There's still plenty of options for the Swamp Small Key that isn't just Thieves Town or Mire, which we know is not Mire.
Yeah, and I guess and the fact that all 3 medallions showed up pretty early is just basically means they're not gonna lock down anything. Oh, great. Okay. Well, we have a bunch of stuff for this, so it's fine.
This is the end of your route. You just take care of it.
Yeah. All right. So actually, yeah, we actually did see P-Train end up picking up a really nice upgrade, which is the Tempered Sword. So at least I'm gonna assume that Dave's gonna pick that up as well.
Yes, especially if he has. I mean, obviously, if he hasn't found Swamp Small by the time he finds Thieves Town, then yes.
I mean, but like, look, like Thieves. So Thieves is a crystal, right? So you'll probably open that chest, right? Probably, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm a little surprised Daze is walking out of here, considering this would have been a good end of route. And
did he check Dark Agena? He checked Desert Main, apparently.
Apparently didn't check Desert Main.
We're also not ending our run here, I guess, because we have that flute.
So yeah, with the flute, you're just gonna flute away at this point.
Alright, so Petra did also end up opening up the big chest, has nothing. So with that fire shield, I expect 0 damage to be taken on Petra inside. And that's the only reason, of course, I expect Petra to take no damage.
He's gonna be invincible. Oh.
What happened? That shield? I was told the shield blocks fire.
It blocked fire. It doesn't actually block blind, though.
Have we learned nothing from this past year and a half? That we should stay away from big monsters?
Apparently not. It's okay, though. Oh, there's a small key.
Oh, So, we haven't found GT Big Key, which I think maybe is a blessing at this point.
A little bit.
Because that means at least we don't have to climb, right? Actually, do we know what's behind Agate?
We should.
Is it Useless Fairy? I feel like we haven't seen it yet. Maybe.
Sure.
Alright, Dazed is thinking. I think that's all of the items, I think, out of Turtle Rock for him.
Yep, we are completely clear of Turtle Rock, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes next. P-Train will find Mire along this route. Unfortunately, we'll full clear it.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, because I mean, we haven't seen it on either runner side. This is a race in order to find that small. And of course, depending on where Daze ends up going, which looks like Thieves Town, so we are just going to trade dungeons at this point.
Daze remembering at the hour and 50 mark, we have not checked Sphere 1.
Does he not remember that there's a
Sphere 0 entrances?
Yeah, this is does he not remember this is heart piece up here, or maybe he just wants it?
Entirely, yeah. That's a hey, I forgot this was here.
Okay, yeah, because we definitely saw him on the other side, and I assumed he saw it. Well, wall kicks. I think I did speak too early. This seed is definitely shaping up to being a 18 heart silvers. I don't know. We might find gold sword. Who knows? But at least they're gonna get tempered.
Gold sword is the same place that boots are gonna be.
Oh man, that.
What?
So you mean upstairs GT?
Upstairs GT.
I don't want to think about that.
All right, so Daze is going to find Thieves Town here in a moment. So we'll flip for his tempered sword and nothing else.
Maybe the boots are vanilla because they haven't found Sahashla yet and haven't turned green pendant.
Considering how early we had access to the green pendant, yeah, I am surprised that we have not seen Sahashla. But at the same time, I don't think there are any entrances left that aren't boots locked that our runners collectively haven't seen?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what else was even available, and they've checked a lot of stuff between them.
Bumper Cave.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, yeah, you're right.
I know we've seen
P-Train
the top
found
of
that.
Bumper
Yeah,
Cave,
P-Train definitely found it, and we have not been able to follow it because we didn't find the cape earlier.
Yeah, have not done the mirror side of Bumper Cave.
I guess, yeah, no mirror or no cape or hookshot at the time. And hookshot we obviously saw was pretty dang late. But yeah, you can actually hookshot through from that entrance.
He's dropping another bomb.
Maybe this
Quick
is
swap
why.
blows.
Yeah, maybe this is why Days, wanted to try and farm out those 50-50 bombs.
Better to drop a bomb than to mirror out.
That is 100% true. Yes, it's especially I don't know if it's a worse feeling, but it's like you've already gone for how long? Almost 2 hours at this point without boots, right? You've walked for so long, and then you just mirror. It doesn't really matter where you end up mirroring. You have to walk basically all the way back to where you were. Actually, so both runners found Thieves Town small, right? Could you actually take a shortcut and to like not pick up that key and just go straight to the back and then get blind later?
If you're in go mode. Wait, what? I'm confused. What are you asking?
They could just take the Thieves Town small key and use it from earlier. Oh, yes, no, maybe not. Yeah, because you still want to check the big chest, right? Yeah, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I thought maybe you could save a corridor, a hallway, but no.
This isn't bingo. that is a viable play in bingo if you have a square that is the Thieves Town big chest. It is absolutely viable to have the big key and be like, I'm just going to steal the small key and open the big chest instead, and then just say no to blind forever.
It's saying no to blind forever. Oh, but well, he doesn't have our boots, so I don't.
It doesn't have our boots. Wow.
Hey man,
does not care about blind. Everybody.
I do not. I'm feeling so bad for these runners. Like they have gone. I mean, they're gonna hit the 2-hour mark without boots, and I don't know. This just might be one of those seeds, wall cakes that you cursed them or predicted earlier that Pegasus boots in the credits is gonna be 00000.
That would be unfortunate.
Right, so at least right now, it's going to be a race between, I guess, who finishes dungeon first. Maybe Days Cloud's going to come out a little bit ahead over P-Train to finish up Thieves Town. So where is Days Cloud going after this?
That's a good question. And I guess I'm surprised that P-Train isn't rushing Vidya at this point. Because if the Swamp Small is just on Vidya, then you just feel terrible having full cleared Misery Mire.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Clear, I don't think we've done Vanilla Big Key Chest.
Didn't he just drop down to that chest?
Oh, he might have. Oh, he did.
Because he was doing torches, right?
You're right.
But I don't know. Yeah, but maybe like he thinks that the chances of Swamp Small being on Vitreous exactly is just like too small, so that he doesn't want to eat up, I guess, the extra dungeon trip in. Okay, but I think it's also very reasonable. I mean, as you said, if it's just there, like, it's just... Alright, so Daze, also armed with that fighter shield, I fully expect him to also run into blind, apparently. Oh no, Daze, what's happened? Why is he on the bottom of the screen? I don't understand! This is...
Both runners messing up the blind script. What is going on here?
This is what happens when we have to play 2 hours without boots, wall cakes. We just forget everything else. We're just holding right for too long, and then before you know it, it's just not there. Of course, Days, I'm sure, getting the similar roller coaster of emotions. The big high and then the big letdown. That is only a GT small.
All right, so interesting to see where Days heads next, because he is the first of our runners to be in the position to search out the Swamp Small.
Yeah, so what do we have at this point? We do have more options in GT, as reminded that we do have that GT Small that we just picked up. So at this point, we don't want to see that book, right? Oh wow,
If it leads to
P-Train.
a small, we do.
Oh, that's true. P-Train demonstrating really nice textbook energy fight here on Vitreous. He's got tempered. He had wooden arrows to take out the last eye, and of course, you know, picking up silvers. Very nicely done. Dazed. Oh
Very,
man,
very
Dazed. Getting bullied here by these bombers.
And yeah, this is going to be GT for Days Cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's probably his next, like, I don't know, best, like, viable option. Probably the most item-dense location at this point.
I don't know if it's most item dense because it's only 6 checks because we've already done Stalfo's room.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. And we can't right now we can't even get upstairs, right? So that's like another that's another 5 checks gone.
So yeah, like if P-Train goes to pod, then I think he's in a pretty good. Oh, there's the boot.
We found boots! Thank you, Days! At under 2 hours, which is apparently the new benchmark for finding boots.
Also, that's a
wow.
That's a gross place for those.
Yeah,
boots.
holy cow! Because I mean, isn't that like can you remind me how many GT smalls is that locked by?
That is locked by all 4.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, it's because it's one of those keys that like sorry, it's one of those rooms you really just don't want to burn a key on, right? Because it only locks one chest.
Yeah. And something that Chad is pointing out that Days probably isn't immediately thinking about, which, you know, fair, reasonable, because you're in the middle of a race, but you now have access to that big key on Torch, and what's the GT big key?
We don't know. Well, Kicks, let's not think about things like this.
But then you're isolating the big chest right here.
Yeah, that's actually. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Would you feel better or worse if it's GT big key or Ice Palace big key? Are you going back?
I'd feel terrible if it's the GT big. Oh, Days is saying no to the big key.
We are checking Boots lock locations then, if that's the case, right? Why else would we be leaving?
I mean, yeah, I guess we're going. Where's P-Train headed off to?
Yeah, where is P-Train headed off to?
Oh, he's headed to the Hookshot Cave. Yep.
Oh, is this Skullwood's big chest?
This is gonna be Skullwood's big chest, which we know from P-Train's side is nothing.
It's well, it might give him another heart container because I think it was just a heart piece.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So if P-Train remembers about the big key on the GT Torch, you know, this could be something that, you know, swings the race obviously very much in his favor. I say swing the race, like this is still obviously just a race for the Swamp Small Key, and whoever finds it first is very likely going to win.
P-Train reminding us that the mushroom still exists.
Yep.
That we never turned in from Mired. Oh, he was recently in Mired, that's right. Yeah.
Right. But
it's probably more on his mind.
Days has now given himself a if it's here I lose scenario, which is something that P-Train hasn't done yet. Oh, there's a small key.
Oh my gosh, too? Oh my god. So close. So do you think it's a pod? If that's the case? Oh, Days also reminding us that he found the Dusty Palace small key. So there are 2 more checks here.
3 because we have the big chest as well.
Oh,
there it is.
Alright, at just over the 2-hour mark, Days not only has found Boots, he's found Desert Swamp. Or Swamp Swamp.
So that is go mode, but it looks like P-Train is actually not going to be far behind. Unfortunately, the boots are going to make a difference here.
That's right. Yeah. So the good news, of course, is that because Swamp Small is go mode, we can just go straight to the back of Swamp. But as you pointed out, well, Kicks, Boots, yes.
One thing to think about, and I think the tracker is correct. P-Train might not have the Desert Small. Oh, he does. Just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he had. Yeah. as evidence for the fact that he is now in desert with that key
Yeah.
counter briefly lit up to 1.
I guess you wouldn't be making this play if you didn't have the small key.
Right, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is actually going to be, so this race was basically, super close up until this point. Main difference right now, in terms of equipment, is that Days Cloud has the boots, and I mean, even Swap Palace, although it's a pretty fast go mode dungeon, I mean, screen for screen, Days Cloud's going to gain some more time over P-Train.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot that P-Train can do to make up time. It's going to be a mistake from Dazed at this point that would give P-Train the ability to take the win here.
Yeah.
But this is why we race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like anybody's ever had like a bad Ganon fight or anything. Never. Certainly has never happened. Yeah, and I think at this point, Daze probably is not going to be interested in. Even if he finds Gold Sword, probably not going to be a big difference to him.
Yeah, like
I was like, what diver down is this? With the blue cane, okay.
quick swap woes.
Yes.
Yeah, Daze isn't even checking these chests right here. He's just we're just going tempered silvers. He's not concerned.
Red dress with 16 hearts. Yeah, I think he's probably gonna be okay. I guess we're never gonna know though if either of these guys can do silverless Ganon. At least not this race.
33 and 38 arrows. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna be in a position where we're running out of arrows for Ganon.
Given Daze Cloud's track record so far for the seed and Mini Moldorm, I mean, if he could take down Ganon with like 3 arrows, I would not be surprised at this point.
It's very true.
Oh. Actually, I don't actually know if Daze Cloud was capable of doing Zero Cycle. It actually looked like a pretty good start. Unfortunately, it looks like it's just gonna have to slash through the rest of these. Did you see that sword spin and like the arrow lineup? I don't know, man.
It was very nicely done.
Yeah. So look at so it's another small key, but at this point we don't care about anything else. Not even the Hera small key can tempt us. Looks like P-Train actually cute. Gives a slightly, I guess, like more conventional diver down with the cane, just tossing the block over. But with that, P-Train's very close to Argus. Daze Cloud though is gonna just dash over to. Yeah, he's going to Ganon as fast as he possibly can.
So yeah, so this ended up being a very tight race. Both runners making a lot of good plays. Very proud that neither of them were in it. Were baited into the back of pod. I don't even recall how much of pod. Like maybe P-Train did part of the back of pod. I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. I know. I want to say that P-Train found pod and then he just left early because he didn't have very many keys. Daze Cloud only did a little bit earlier, just the front.
Yeah, I know Daze only did the front, but yeah, neither of them apparently did. That's good.
All right, so it looks like actually a pretty good lineup so far. Got the spin. Let's look like setting up for a good 1-on-1. Taking no chances with that cape. Just gonna especially with half magic, there's no need to.
Crystal number 7 there on P-Train's side, so he is going to be right behind, but still just could be too little too late.
I imagine he's gonna do. He's gonna follow Daze Route's path over to Ganon, which is that sanctuary. I guess it's not gonna be any faster, right? If he I was thinking maybe he can like flute over somewhere from the light world, but I guess not. It's probably the fastest way. Daze Cloud actually also getting Torch Glitch. Not necessary when he's half magic, but he's just a couple arrows left to go.
Weirdly enough, getting Torch Glitch can almost make this fight a little bit slower because you really don't set yourself up for a triple. But it doesn't matter because that's 4 arrows, and with that, Daze Cloud is part of Frozen Leftovers. As long as nothing crazy happens right now, will take the win and get his team an important 3 points. And sure enough, that is a first place finish on Daze side. Time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 36 seconds.
Yeah, real nice. Get your GGs out, yeah, in chat for days. Played this seed very well. Also, of course, P-Train, who's following up very shortly. I mean, I think the biggest accomplishment is that they, well, at least days, found boots shy of 2 hours. Poor P-Train though, and ended up never finding those boots.
Yeah, but I mean, he did very well to kind of keep it, you know, dropping into Ganon as days was finishing up. You know, shows that sometimes, you know, it's not about the boots, but it's just about your movement. And P-Train's movement is this entire seed has largely been very good. You were a little close to that fire bat, my friend. Sets it up though for that nice triple. So get GG's in chat for P-Train as he will finish and put together a very nice one. We're right now joined by our winner, Days Cloud. Hello, GG's.
GG's, Days.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
How are you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you doing? How about them boots?
Fun, yeah?
I mean, you found them. That's
I did.
something.
Gotta ask, did the big key on Torch, on the GT Torch, ever cross your mind after picking up those boots?
About halfway up through Village of Outcasts, yeah. Yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, well, no. And it was just like, I'm glad I didn't, because if I probably, if I go back to get that, he might get me here. I mean, it was what, like an...
80-ish seconds, maybe.
Yeah, I mean...
75? Like, yeah, it's very close race between you two. Very exciting to watch, despite the general lack of movement.
Yeah, that it got a little rough. Getting Moon Pearl, so, I mean, we did get Moon Pearl really early, didn't we? I'm trying to remember.
It was Link's
It was
house.
in Link's house.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say, I was like, that was this seed, right? I was trying to remember. But yeah, getting it as early just kind of meant the moment I found a connector, I was like, wee! let's go! And so that helped me out early because I got everything I needed for Eastern, like, immediately. And,
given that, like, the seed pushed you to Eastern as early as it did, it ended up being required. And that was actually a little bit of the difference here, is that because P-Train did not have the bow the first time he went into Eastern and did not go back for that for probably another hour or so. So he did not pick up that TR big for a little bit, and so was a little late to flippers as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me that would explain something, because I was like looking at the seed and I'm like, I don't feel like there's anything that I've done that's been bad, but I was slightly concerned about that mirror, because, you know, if he happened to see that, you know, say, I don't know, for some reason he fake flippers over there, he has the bow and Scylla's down to it, then I could be really behind. I was hoping that wasn't the case, but I honestly didn't know where I was in the seed, like, most of the time.
Both ended up going to the Zora area around the same time. P-Train saw Ice Palace at Waterfall Ferry, left to do the Zora area, and so ended up getting the mirror before you did, but you went into Ice Palace and did Ice Palace and then did the Zora area. So you were both picking up the mirror essentially the same time, just give or take, one doing ice, one not doing ice.
Well, there we go. Yeah, man.
And we're now joined by P-Train. I'm sorry, I almost butchered your name. GG's.
GG's, P-Train.
GG's, P-Train.
GG's.
So, how about them boots?
Wow.
Sorry, I'm sorry, P-Train. I was gonna ask, maybe, you know, how would, like, at least, you know, Days, you know, had a insurmountable, like, 3 minutes of boots over you or something like that.
Yeah, it felt weird. I actually felt really good about my route, like, despite the late TR big key, you know, like, I felt just like everything kind of came together in the middle seed. Like, I was just able to connect a lot of things. Like, there weren't any situations where I was like, all right, let me go save and quit and do this. Let me go save and quit and do that. I just kind of followed connectors, and I was knocking out dungeons. I was finding stuff pretty much like right after the mirror. Getting to the mirror was rough, but after getting the mirror, everything just kind of lined up for me. And I like even getting go mode, I was like, man, it sucks to have boots. I'm like, but I have a tempered sword, I have silvers, I avoided pod entirely. I didn't open up one chest in pod. Uh, and what was the other? Oh, and I never did left side GT. So, and then I was even thinking, I'm like, if I'm in go mode without the boots, if Dazed found boots and chased the entrances and the items that were the keys that were behind the boots, maybe it's good that I didn't find them. And then I drop it again and any dot's done. So, yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, you both raced. This was a fun race to watch, fun race to commentate. But my only thought, because you unfortunately did Eastern without the bow, and then it kind of took you a little bit of time to get back to Eastern. I was a little bit surprised and kind of wondering why it took you the time it did before going back into Eastern Palace, I guess, because it seemed like early game the seed was screaming finished off Eastern.
Well, there were a couple of reasons. The first one, like I just want to emphasize, like it's not just that I didn't have the bow and lamp when I went to Eastern. I dove Eastern, and my very next item was the lamp, and my very next item was the Eastern Palace Big Key, back to back.
I remember that.
Yeah, like I went from Eastern to the Death Mountain Ascent entrance, and there was the lamp, and then I did Super Bunny, which had the Eastern Palace Big Key.
You had
So
the
I was like,
bow.
oh well, that's really. Oh yeah, the bow, yeah. So I was like, oh, well, that's really really annoying. But whatever. So
Yeah.
my thought was I was gonna try to combine because I had like the entire world open. So it's like, what are the odds that one item is number one going to be progression, number two going to be some kind of a linchpin that just locks the entire seed behind it. And not only was it progression, but it was the linchpin that locked the entire seed behind it with the TR big key leading to the flippers, leading to the mirror. So
Yeah,
my
that's true.
hope was to find the mirror and then be able to combo it with those checks in the Dark World. That was, and to make a long story short, that's what I was hoping for.
That's very reasonable. You both made the same unfortunate walk out of Laser Bridge.
That wasn't that bad. I like even when it happened, I was like, maybe I'll find Turtle Rock East somewhere, and which is exactly what happened. Right after
Yeah,
ice, I just swam back down and checked
yeah,
that entrance.
yeah. It wasn't as bad for Peter and Days because Days you did it much earlier. And you were visibly unhappy when popped out at TR main.
I was like, God, why don't I have the boots right now? If I have the boots, I can go back in. But yeah, no, I came out, but luckily then you find desert right there, and it's like, okay, well that's at least good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like then I went through like a connector or two, and then just at one point ended up right back on like a desert in the desert area, and then I was able to go back through Laser Eyes all the way back down again. But yeah, I wasn't happy.
Yeah, probably like the one routing regret that I have that like really sticks out in my mind. Eastern Palace was unfortunate, but that stuff happens in cross keys. Order of operations matters. Like that's just gonna happen. The one legitimate mistake I felt that I made was activating my flute. I picked up the purple chest, thinking that I was going to get purple chest and combo that in with Hookshot Cave. And when I found the TR big key, I just kind of got tunnel vision of, oh, well, let's clear TR, and then we'll go check the Mire area for Mire. And I completely forgot about Hookshot Cave. And the whole time I'm in Mire, full clearing it, all I can think of is like, man, if boots, like not even go mode, if boots are in Hookshot Cave, that's awful for me. If go mode is in Hookshot Cave, that's equally awful for me. And I don't know. I was just feeling very silly being in Mire, but I couldn't leave it. Like I found it.
Yeah.
Like might as well do it. It was kind of fun to do bootsless spooky in an entered scene.
You pulled it off very nicely.
I got questions about that one, honestly. Someone's got to teach me that, dang it.
I mean, you can use a fire rod as a substitute for the boots dust. So I just shot a fire rod off to the right, and then you drop your Samaria block. and then it's the same as spooky at that point.
You just throw the block on the top, off the top of the bridge, on the way down.
No. You have the variable set when you enter the portal. So
right, because it was in. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So
Right,
you
I
just
didn't even think
fire
about
rod
it.
shot, ice rod shot, a silver arrow. Any of those will work in lieu of the boots if you don't have the boots.
I thought you were doing something like special there. I forgot that it was just in Meyer area, and yeah, we would have had a variable set. I just went straight to Vidi when I got to Meyer because I was like, I'm one item away. If it's on Vidi, let me go directly there. And yeah, that would have saved some time. Oh well, didn't think about it. Oh well.
But yeah, even finding pod when I did, like I had so many entrances open. I felt, and there were maybe not so many entrances, but I felt like there were things that if I could find like Meyer, I could clear Meyer. You know, I still had, I think, Skullwoods to do, and in my mind, like I had a route, and I always knew, because I think at that point I had the Desert Big Key too. Maybe, I can't quite remember, but my thought was like that was going to be my return to pod, and that's the reason why I prioritized Desert over both pod and
GT.
Both pod and GT, because I knew that I could like crawl through Desert, clean up those checks, and then finish with pod. Meanwhile, if I find Meyer, I clean Meyer, and then maybe I don't need pod altogether. Which is, it worked out that way. Not quite in the way I had it in my mind, but you know, same principle. So
yeah, no, you like both of you guys put on an excellent show,
and
you know, you guys both did very well. So GG's to both of you. Clearmaster, do you have any other questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
Actually, I did have one for you, Days. So I remember you not being a big fan of Encelophic Flipper, but you tried it in this case. Like, do you just do it anyway because you have to, or?
No, I've got it down, but I didn't realize that when I was doing it that I had already killed Armos Knights and I had thrown off the and I had thrown off the thing. So when I went to go do it the first time, I was just like, wait, what? Like it didn't click in my head there when I went for it the first time, and I was like, okay, well, forget it. I'm like, well, the ferry's right next to me. I'll go get some more arrows and do it again. And then when it failed again, I was just like, okay, I'm not wasting time on this. And then I realized as I'm running away, yeah, right, I killed Armos Knights. If I tried it one more time, it would have worked. And I was like, well, that feels silly. And yeah, what are you gonna do, right?
I appreciate that you and I seem to follow the similar, like, we're doing something, and then like as we're walking away from not being able to do something, like, wait a minute, I could have done it this way.
Yep.
Did that with the Ancilla, and then walking away from the big key on GT Torch.
I guess we're never gonna find out what that big key is.
It's entirely the GT big key.
I am so
it's either
glad.
the GT Big Key, Swamp Big Key, or Ice Big Key. I never found either of those.
Yeah, same here. I didn't get any of those. So one of those three. Hope if it was GT, I'd have been like, well, guess what I'm doing, and then I would have, because I had 4 keys, and I would have.
Oh,
I'd probably still be
that's a
playing
great
at the
point.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I actually have absolutely, like, I can drop like whatever it is, like 3 arrows and then 2 bombs and then try to do the Encelophic Flipper. But other than that, it's like the one glitch where I'm like, hey, if I lose to that, whatever. Like, I don't care to learn it. I don't care how to reset it. It's kind of silly to me.
Yeah, that's a reasonable thing.
That's just how I feel about it. It absolutely has merit, and you know, if you want to be competitive, you probably should know it, because the bigger your toolbox is, the more equipped you are to handle different kinds of seats. I'm just lazy, and like every time I look at that glitch versus like literally anything else I could practice or look into to make me better at the game, everything else feels like something shiny compared to Encelophic Flippers.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same with you. If it's not bombs and arrows there, I don't do it. Like when I was piloting Chimo the other day, he did like cane and bombs and some other stuff, and I was just like, oh yeah, I guess you can do it that way. And I'm just like, I'm never gonna even attempt to do it that way. But anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for everything. I'm definitely going to give this a watch back because I'm pretty sure that it should be fun with you two comms there. Thanks to Mindful Beast, and thanks again, P-Train. It's always fun racing you, bud.
Yeah, man, GG. good luck with the rest of the season.
You too, bud.
Yeah, no, this was great. Thank you so much, Days and P-Train, for putting on. I mean, like, it's always fun to commentate for you too. You guys put on, as Wallkick said, really, really fun show for us. So.
Yeah, and with that, I want to thank Clear Mouse for commentating with me, Mindful Beast for tracking, Speed Gaming for putting this on. There's going to be a ton more cross keys all throughout the week because this is cross keys week in the league. So be sure to stick around and on here on the Speed Gaming channels plus the ALTTPR League, and Speed Gaming has everything that you could ever want. So yeah, I think we're about done here, Clear Mouse.
And so I think
anything else?
Yeah, so I think on the schedule, so there is actually one more race tonight. For cross keys, it's CS Tudor versus Aster on SpeedGaming 2, starting at 11:10. And then I don't think there are. Looks like there are a couple of races up for tomorrow, but definitely keep your eyes on the schedule for that. If you still want more rando tonight, tune over to SpeedGaming 2 in about like half an hour, 35 minutes, something like that. We're not supposed to do math on stream, right?
No.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, well, again,
500 mirror transitions.
That's right, something, yeah. Of course, thanks again as always, Wallkicks. This has always been a blast. So we can look forward to the next one.
Awesome. And yeah, we will
All
see
right.
you guys later.
Yeah, have a good night.